Hi everyone, welcome to the stream. Welcome. If you missed last stream, it was amazing. It was awesome. If you haven't seen my post yet, our original goal for St. Jude was 500 for the Play Live campaign, which ended Friday, and we made $1,200. It was amazing. And I just want to say one more time, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. But I am here with the ladies tonight to play some Stardew. So I hope you guys are ready to chill and just watch us hang out on the farm and do things and stuff. So let me grab the ladies and let them know we're live. Hi ladies, we're live and the game is up.
Hello.
But yeah, hi Michigan. Hi everyone lurking. Hi Momo. I love that glitchy star so much. Part of me was like, I need to reload it, and now it's just like a thing, and I like it.
No, but it has to stay glitched now.
I know, I like it glitchy. With the ghost TV. Yes. Hi, everyone. And.
To be honest,
Mama,
the ghost TV was an
lady.
accident.
On my way.
I was just continually clicking the star, but then the ghost TV was underneath it.
I
I'm
love
like, oh,
Ghost
fuck
TV.
it.
She's the only Halloween I kept active right now because my, Mysterion in the back, I feel like
Brooke,
they're
you're in the way.
sisters. They have to be there. So.
Oh, look, it's Christmas.
That's right.
Oh shit, it's Christmas.
We gotta give our gifts to our people.
Oh
So,
shit, what
yeah.
is it again?
Yeah, mine's Sebastian, of all people. I remember that.
I have a lady.
What is with my game? Here we go. I gotta fix my overlay real quick.
I have again.
Because I did things and stuff
you
the other day.
In your menu.
I do.
Who you had.
Oh, okay. That's Shane.
And. Well,
There's like a tiny little picture of them there.
There we go.
Whoosh!
The feast of the winter star has begun in the town square.
Sorry.
What is
Okay. I'll put myself up here, I think. I don't remember where the good spot is for this game. We'll find out. I'm gonna lock that down.
See who, oh.
Brooke.
Hi, Emily.
Dun, dun, dun. How did you evolve your Eevee into a ghost, Mono? With a brick. There's a special stone called a brick. A man-made stone. A man-made rock stone thingy called a brick. Poor Eevee. Could not handle the weight of the stone.
I had. Oh, I do. It's the one with the green hair.
And became a
Caroline.
ghost.
Caroline, yeah.
But yes.
Shit, but what was it that she wanted again? I think I still have it in my inventory.
Alright.
The summer spangled?
Get out of bed, Mona.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm good. Hey, doggo. I love how he just turned around when I said that. That's kind of funny.
I don't have really anything in my dresser. We're good. Hello, Drinkwater, thank you. Thank you. But hi, Shane. Welcome to the stream.
Where are we? Where? Square?
On to the festival.
Make sure you have all your gifts.
Well, one gift.
I only need one, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I got
right.
my thing.
Don't confuse us.
Yeah, I got my thing.
Where are you going? You're picking that up?
I saw a thing that I had to dig up. I can't help it.
I still ignore it.
I just had to. I couldn't help myself.
Hope we're on time.
Yes. Yeah. If we weren't on time, I would restart the game.
Yeah,
we did all that.
Right?
What do they have? Ooh. Bread, perch. Winter banner, light string, fine. Nothing crazy. Da-da-da.
He has a story, Willie.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Legend of the Winter Star.
Sebastian was my
Damn it!
Hope you're doing well today, Mono. I am. Thank you, Shane. Thank you, thank you. Also, Pokemon have spawned.
Do I have to give it to them
So
now?
people who come to you
yeah, you can
wide
talk to
believe that
them.
anyone like their eyes in the
Oh,
Winter
sure.
Star would be blessed
Hi,
with good
Nancy
fortune. Some
said.
even claim that the
my
mysterious
God.
fruit known as the
He
Star
said.
Fruit is connected with the
Aw.
Winter Star.
It's like it's nothing fancy, but it's the best I could afford. Oh my god.
I didn't get anything.
You will.
Good
You'll
afternoon.
get a cutscene.
Oh, because you give your person their thing?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Give him his thing. Frozen tear.
Oh, mine is
So
Clint.
it's you. Ah, a frozen tear, thanks.
Yeah.
I got 5 geodes.
Nice.
But I have to pay to
Oh,
make
you got
What?
Sam.
He's giving me
What is
something
it?
that I have to pay him again to open. That's
What?
just weird.
Sam. Hey,
What's
Mono,
Sam
I'm your
give
secret
you?
gift giver this year.
Oh, it's pork.
Here, open it. Da, da, da. What do I get? A cake. Pink cake.
I mean,
You received
better
a
than
pink
5
cake.
geodes.
This is true. I don't know. There may be
I
some
should've-
cool in there. It's not much,
should've
but I hope
talked
you
to
like
Emily
it.
first.
You
Cake
probably
is
had your mom
yummy.
make it.
I'll take cake. Oh, Michigan. Are you
We
looking
probably should
people
have talked
already
to
in
Emily
chat?
first,
Kissing Momo? Ooh.
Yeah.
Because-
Yeah.
because she says, "What are you hoping to find?"
Spirit
It
tree,
might
a
have
new
it might
winter
have helped.
can, a jug of spice, a pair of
I
stylish
don't think
boots.
so.
Oh, I bet it is. Because, like, there's usually, like, a best answer. I'm gonna put the mead. That sounds
I did the-
nice. Make sure
I
to
did the
give me a
stylish
taste.
boots.
It does a lot
She
of
wants
things,
a
yeah.
taste of the mead. Of course she does. Right, Michigan. Emily's gonna share a mead with me. Just so you know. I hope there's a new camera for
Okay,
me
so-
under the spirit tree. Haley wants a
Pass.
camera. Humbug. George, did he shave his face? Didn't he normally have a beard?
No.
I'm just not used to seeing him with a hat, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, this map is so obstructed. Can I just get to the little kid there?
Crazy.
No.
There we go.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Vincent. Are there more? Where are the other kids?
It's not a good time of year for a diet. Definitely
yeah,
not. Don't diet in the winter. I'm thankful for my guitar and my skateboard. Oh, and my family, I guess. You guess? Oh my god.
A decorative axe. Let's make it dwarf.
You're welcome to join our family table if you need company. Aww. You can let me talk to you again.
Here.
He won't. I'll get another tool this year. Sigh.
Here.
He doesn't want any more tools. Emily, wow. Yep. Can we open presents now?
He's behind his thing.
Vincent, you should have already opened a present. Why can't I click on him? He's like part of the wall or something. It says investigate. Weird.
He doesn't say anything, he just
I think I'm finished.
I joined in, but I don't think I'm welcome. Aw, he didn't get to exchange a gift? Rude.
Aww.
That's so sad. Gus was just telling me about his artisan candy canes. Yawn. People are rude. Wiggles! Hello
Hope
there.
you're having an awesome Sunday.
I am. Thank you so much, Wiggles. It's good to see you. Thank you for the 5 months. Thank you for the hype, Michigan. Thank you.
Oh.
Well, hello, Mono. It's chilly, isn't it? Elliot. Oh, Elliot wants to cuddle because it's cold. He's like, it's chilly, isn't it? Hi, Jane. Yes, thank you for the hype, Momo, too. Hype. Thank you, guys. I hope you had a wonderful weekend as we close out the weekend. All these happy families, but for me, just another lonely year. Clint is a little sus sometimes too. I've met some people who believe in spirits and magic, but me, I've never seen anything that couldn't be explained by science. Shane, what about your blue chickens? Explain that, please.
Apparently, they eat enough blueberries. I don't know.
Yeah, explain science away the blue chickens.
SMAPI.
And not use Shane in chat. Shane in game. Oh, I've had too much nog, Caroline. Oh boy. Look at that sweater though. She's like being all festive. Okay, so if I come back here, can I talk to him? My sales figures have been phenomenal lately, thanks to the festival. Feast of the Winter Star. Okay. Hey, words. Okay. Welcome to the Feast of the Winter Star. Oh, now I know what it's called. Just kidding. Today is the time to be thankful for this year's good fortune. Forget your worries for a day and relax. I think I talked to everybody. I talked to Momo. I can't talk to Lady Rain. Okay. Go start this thing.
Hey, listen!
Hey, Jeffa! What about them blues? Welcome, Jeffa.
Can you talk to him again?
No. How do I start it? Do I do anything?
We've already given our gifts and gotten our gifts.
I guess that's it. I was thinking there'd be like something else too. I don't know why, but let's see. Does it let me do this? No. I keep trying to track the trash cans, of course, at the festival, during the festival, because I'm just a weirdo. There used to be a blue chicken emote for Twitch. I was just looking for it. Oh, are you really? Nice. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Chicken. I don't see you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have one. No blue chickens here. We could totally have a blue chicken emote though. Because we got them in Discord. Alright, I'm gonna leave the festival. Leave. Leave. Da-da-da. I'm carrying my cake. I'm happy about my cake. So the farm animals did not get attended to today. They'd be okay. I'm just gonna let them go to sleep and then worry about things and stuff. I know I have a tapper. I'm guessing it's for a tree somewhere on the farm. I forget what it's for. Oh, your doggo's in the house with me. He's in my house. Your doggo, Momo, is in my house. I loved on him, by the way. I loved on your doggo. He's in my house. He's sleeping. Oh wait, I may be mistaken and I'm thinking of Discord. Yes, there's blue chickens in Discord. There's like two of them. My connection is kind of shaky, so I'm not sure how long I'll be able to be on. My emotes aren't even loading. No, it's okay, Jav. I appreciate you coming in and saying hi, though. See, you can have your cake and carry it too, apparently. So I also have iced coffee that I made. Yes, I'm having coffee.
Your copper hoe is ready.
Go get your hoe, Momo.
What a copper one.
There's a ranking system now.
Yeah. We'll eventually get to an iridium hoe. Sorry though, we're not that high quality yet.
They're hard to find in Stardew Valley, you know? I want to make fish stew, but I need an albacore. I know they're almost out of season. Sorry about the short notice. Could you catch one for me, Gus?
Oh god.
What is it? Albacore?
Albacore,
Yeah.
and they're like only
Alright.
this season. So you got like 3 days.
Gotcha.
I appreciate it. And it looks like we were giving
Oh,
gold quality vegetables to Harvey, and we need one
Mhm.
more.
We just
I
have to
can do
harvest
that.
them.
Oh, that's right. They had to be harvested. That was the key. Oh, the
They have to
dog
be
barks.
vegetables.
I just heard the dog bark. He's barking.
There we go.
He's so
Got it.
cute. Thank you. Select. That's done. Coffee sounds nice. It is nice. Robin and her hardwood. You know what? I'm sure Clinton can take care of that. He wants an iron bar. And Pam wants ale still. She can wait so I can grow some hops. And then, alright. Doggo! Just like a doggo. Bark, 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 bark.
Mhm.
Michigan ships with Hollow. Thank you for lurking, Hollow. Oh, there's like a one. Collect, collect. There'll be so many eggs in here.
there's wormsies in the ground here. But
Ooh.
I don't have my hoe yet.
Go get it!
But I'm pointing it out. It's when you go to the cows. It's right there.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll be going by the cows. I'll probably see it.
There you go. Right. Oh shit! I picked up the.
Alright.
Anything useful?
It was a snow yam.
Snow yam. Well, at least you can sell it. Hey, we made money.
We each did, you just have to accept it.
I did. Already. I did mine. I didn't realize that was what it was for.
Mhm.
A French dog said oof, oof. Is that how you
there's
say
two
that?
up here too. What the hell?
How do you say that?
Bus station.
Oof,
I went
oof.
south because I'm going to the beach to fish up
I'll
out.
be right
Thank you
back.
for the lurk,
Fine.
Dick Dothy.
Don't
Whenever
pay,
someone
but-
says the first part of your username, I can't help but think of
Make sure you grab
Wolf
your prize.
Wafu.
My prize.
Aww.
Mhm.
Hi, Rain and
From the
Mono.
community.
Momo, by the way. Jeff says hi, Rain and Momo.
Hello.
Saying hi. Okay, those can be made into hanky things, so I'll put them in there. All the things and stuff are happening. I don't know if we have room for any more animals. If they even hatch. We could put something in the incubator.
Oh, there's a
Another
new
dino.
quest. Either juicy bugs or.
Yeah, but we only have a handful of days for it, so we might as well
That's-
just let
Oh,
it
we
expire.
forgot.
So you're
Right.
saying I am a sexy
we had to
wolf
do
girl
Piers.
who hides in the heart in
Years?
Piers
the
was my
harvest.
bulletin.
Woo!
So, not accepting them.
Mm-mm.
What? Java. Fluff.
I'm gonna check again on the first.
Mom, no, doesn't know. French confirmed. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, I got 4 preserved jar for my ticket.
I don't know French at all.
Oh no, go get your
I know.
ticket from the community board.
Okay. Thank you. I simply know Southern slang. Yeah, that's what I know. And not even as well as Shane. So it looks like we finished maxing out the board. I mean the not the board, the farmhouses. As far as like building them all the way to deluxe, which is good to know. And did I grab you? I think so. And do you need shears? Come back. Let me trim you. There we go. Ultra Ball. I almost didn't see your first message, Shane, because I was changing screens around. Oh, wow, Gengar? I want Gengar. I need all the Gengars. Ultra Ball, please. All the Gengars, please.
I had no intention of using caps. That was a complete accident.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize my thing working.
There we go.
Hell fucking yeah.
My button didn't work. How dare.
Okay. Now I'll put.
Rude.
What am I putting in here? Take that out.
Why am I always licking myself?
You just want to be clean. That is all.
Uh-huh.
You want to be clean.
Run.
Oh, yay, we got it. Yes! Jeff, Cat, Lady Rain, and Hollow call it the Gengar. Southern slang has been trained ever so slightly by my northern family. There are a few words that I say that are closer to New York pronunciation than North Carolina one. That makes sense. Okay, I lurk again. I have a wonderful stream, Mono. I am sick and not allowed to go back to work right now. Oh, I hope you feel better and thank you for lurking. You got it. Meow. Run. It's running from each other.
Ah.
Oh, geez. Tipperty, thank you so much for the 23 months. Type. Thank you so much. Thank you. Pronunciation. Yeah, pronunciation's terrible. I don't know anything about that.
Totals, I swear to God, if you eat that too fast and throw up, I'm gonna kill you.
Okay, did we do the greenhouse?
What?
It looks like we did. Not allowed to kill the puddles.
Puddles.
Puddles, not the puddles. Doggo.
I thought you were talking to me for a second. I was like, well, what? Where's Sebastian?
Check the saloon.
I love it. I'm so used to hearing the cat meow. I am not used to hearing the dog bark, and I love it. It's so cute. Oh, I forgot to put that in the loom. Oh well. We'll do that later. All the things and stuff. And okay, we need to save the tears. I remembered. I am not selling the frozen tears, so I don't get yelled.
No, thank you. Do not sell them. Good job, Mono.
I'm not getting yelled at today.
Oh, I already gave him 2 gifts this week. Damn it.
Okay, so it's still time. Guess who you guessing? Pipe pronunciation. Yes, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. Thank you so much for the subs. Thank you for being here. I hope you're having a relaxing Sunday as we just play around on Meowland Farms that now has a dog. And I have the lovely Lady Rain and the beautiful Momo here.
We're trying to catch Avocor, and I.
My toddler sees you on my screen and is
Sorry.
yelling, hi. His name is Rowan. If you want to say hi, I have all the sound on. Hi! Oh, I'll do it. Are you ready? Hi, Rowan! Hi! That's so cute. I'm trying to fish apparently in the middle of the thingamajig.
Where do we have to catch them?
What it? Oh, come on.
Ocean.
The ocean. Alright. Because this is going to think. Doing a thing. So yeah, we only have like what, a couple more days to catch them. I haven't even tried yet, so yeah, I'm a slacker. Oop.
Oh, I got one.
Woo.
Okay, I'm gonna move this. Hi, bro! Welcome, 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 welcome. Nico, Nico, Nee! Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing awesome. I hope you're having a relaxing evening. There I was hiding behind a dead tree in multitasking once again. He got super happy. Thank you, Odo. Wife started talking to me, so it took me a bit to say, no, it's all good. It's all good. I'm glad he liked it. I'm here. You have to end now. It's the rule. Dang it! Artist is here. We gotta go, guys. I'm so sorry.
Is artist gonna play with us?
We gotta shut
Come
down.
play with us.
That's the real question.
Did artists already have a house in this one?
Yes.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure.
I think it's only Rose.
Let me look. Oh, it is just Lemon. I was thinking Artist was in this one. Artist is in the other one then. Hacks. Artist has not joined this farm. I'm here with Jeff Kirby. Yes. Kirby cheer. I like it.
I'm just catching halibuts.
So we're at 20,000. But we should have.
Herring and sardine.
Oh god, they're gonna catch me.
Oh, there's the second one.
Elliot, come back. I have cheese for you.
Oh.
This for me? Marvelous.
See if I can get
I
it
really
there.
need to look up and see what his favorite food is. Or favorite item is. I've just been giving him cheese every day.
Don't want to
I
rush.
can.
It's too late.
And
I
there's the
could
third
give
one.
him cheese. I've literally played twice. Don't waste space on me in game. I barely get to
That sucks because
say I
gold
play.
star and
It's
iridium
all
star.
good. We got a house that nobody's in. It doesn't matter.
It's nearly 1.
Japata.
I'm on my
How did you get here so fast?
She was still in town.
Time to sleep.
Oh wait, it's not you. It's Mono.
Look,
How did Rain get here so fast?
the doggo's in here sleeping.
I'm on my way, don't worry.
But yeah, I can do this. See who I hug. Ah, Momo. I already had a shower. I didn't need another one.
Golden shower. Kidding.
Yeah. Cookies. Add at.
Mono didn't hear it, so it's fine.
What did you say?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh no. Momo's being sus, I think.
Naughty,
But congratulations, you got the cookies. I'm gonna boop somebody. Booping Momo. Boop. Troublemaker.
How dare.
Let's see. Splash. I splashed you back.
Oh,
There. I don't know what you said. That probably makes it worse.
Yep.
Oh. Alright, and what is it? Oh. I haven't bit anybody this stream. Oh, biter. I can't type bite, I type biter.
Biter, I don't know.
I've evaded all of them today. So far. Ah, Jeff gets bitten. Good luck, Jeff. You're now gonna turn into a vampire cat. There you go. Aware cat.
Mm-mm.
He
He
likes
might.
it. He probably does. Let's
Oh,
see
yeah.
if we can make Jeff turn red. I don't know that I've ever seen Jeff turn red.
Momo. Momo.
Link has been kind of lately. I'd like to share my good fortune with you, Linus. A catfish. Linus gave me a catfish. It's not the one we need. Fishy! Yes, thank you so much.
There you go.
Who am I gonna go give it to?
Gus.
Gus.
He's not open
Gus.
yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I still have a tapper to hook onto a tree.
Pumpkin juice.
And I just collected some resin. Wow. No, you're not allowed. You be kicked. 18 plus stream. I'm gonna kick your booty. Besides, we know what you look like. We know. We know, Michigan.
Spirits are Guhuma.
You're right there. You're 21 and holding. There you go. I need to gather over here. Evie! Lady Shy. That's so cute. Shy blushing Evie. Does that mean Jeff is blushing? We make Jeff blush.
Probably because, you
The
know,
bite.
he likes being bit and all.
Mm-hmm. Jeff likes to be bitten. Let's see. This. It's not Gus. Gus is at the bar. Why was I thinking museum? My brain is all over the place.
This is Gunther.
I know it starts with a G too. I looked like Michigan when I was 13. Alright, I'm gonna go turn in my
A golden
ticket.
pumpkin.
Let's see what I get.
And a quality
I
sprinkler
get the
from the
Iridium
box.
coffee.
No.
Star drop tea. So does star drop
Pumpkin's
tree
worth money.
act like a star drop when
Yep.
you drink it? Very special gift that would delight anyone. Oh, so you just give it away? That's all you do? Star drop tea?
It literally
yeah,
says it's
yeah.
valuable, but it has no other purpose.
Yeah, it literally has none.
Alright. That's here yet. No, not till noon.
Well, the trash panda has been here.
I know nothing!
Okay, Jon Snow.
You couldn't see me, Sam. You were behind the bush. Really? There's no way he saw me. Rude. Note to self, when Sam's behind the bush, don't check the trash. He can still see you. He's got x-ray vision.
Didn't plan on that.
I could grow a great mustache at 13. Trash panda icon. Yeah. Emote.
Wait, Gus is the...
Bar guy. Yeah, I'm waiting until noon. Got 10 minutes. There we go.
There we are.
Come on, guys. Come out. We have fishies to give you.
Come here! Gonna slap him in the face with a cold fish.
Yeah. Is this the right one?
Yeah.
I was gonna say. I was confused because you were holding out the other one. Sniff, sniff. What's that? Something smells like albacore. Ah, you brought it. Thanks a million. Why did he sniff it?
Here, Rain. Here, this way.
He sniffed the fish.
Oh.
Well, it's slowpoke. Do I have a slowpoke? Do I want a slowpoke? Yes. Don't roll your eyes, right? She's just looking out the corner of her eye, shaking her head. And Momo was like, didn't even want and listened. She would have said something. Almost winning. Iron bar. I still need an iron bar. I guess I need to do some mine work after I get done doing things. But yeah, poke catch if you're trying to catch Pokemon and you need Slowpoke. Slowpoke is up. Slowpoke has been caught by Cat and Momo. We were successful. Poor Jeff. Jeff was not as successful. I'm going to come in here, check my house, and put. I already have one of those in there. One of those. Those for who knows reason. I just need that out.
That was pretty clear.
Oh god.
My next prize is a cherry tree.
My cake. I'm gonna give that to Elliot. Startup soup. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it. I'm gonna give it to Elliot eventually. Let's see. And actually, it goes in the other one right here. Craft it. Seed maker requires gold. I do have the ability to make the seed maker, but I don't think we have gold yet. We have 2 pieces of gold. Actually, we do have gold. What was missing? Wood. Wood, of course, because we don't. Nobody has wood. Wood doesn't exist for a couple more days. I don't care. I got a heckin' Gengar, bro.
Yeah. Looks fair.
Gengar is awesome. I think that's the painting I'm most excited about out of Mewtwo, Umbreon, and Gengar. I think I'm most excited about Gengar. Boop, doop, 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 doop. Don't fall asleep. I need to milk you. Milking the floor. Feed. And I'm curious if the pigs will go get truffles in winter. I don't think they will, but
At all.
we have the door shut, so we wouldn't be able to tell anyway. Someone quote that. What did I say? What did I say?
I have no idea what you said.
Who knows? I'm
I guess you
terrible.
gotta quote it, Shane.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't know. I think the instructions of how to quote are still pinned in Discord mod channel. The instructions.
Might be, but I know how.
I don't
I
know.
just don't
Well,
know what needs to be quoted.
I don't know either. I missed what I said. It must have been something sus.
Probably. What else? The fuck are you getting into, dude?
So many eggs. Jeez. I've been busy. Busy. Oh, I left the wool in the other one. I could have used this barn.
Oh no, you're muted.
Take care of that. Oh, I wonder
I
how
forgot.
long. I wonder how long. I'm so sorry. I was like, it
talking the
does
whole
seem
time.
really. I was like, it does seem really quiet. Well, we weren't ignoring you. I promise. We just could not hear you.
It's because I was listening to a voice message from a friend, so I muted quick.
Mm.
And then I forgot to unmute.
It happens. All of us.
Oh.
Oop. And
Did someone do the greenhouse today?
don't fall asleep. I'm going to milk you.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and I just finished both barns. I was a little slow today. But it got done.
All right, I forgot the cloth stuff.
I wonder. I bet
I
Elliot
have to talk
likes.
to Sebastian. He's
Hang on.
probably asleep
I'm
already.
curious. Oh, yeah. I can put those in there. Do we need? Oh, let me make sure I have at least one of these in purple. I do, but I don't have one of those. It's getting late. No. Ah, don't fall asleep. I'm going to milk you. Yep. I would say that. Bedtime for cat. Yep. And then tomorrow is recipe day. Even cats like watching me. Yes, they do. Brooke likes watching me.
It does. She's sleeping right now, though.
Mm-hmm. Brooke likes it. 1 a.m.
Yep. On my way. Just was dealing with some energy. Guess I might as well do some things.
1:30 though.
Hmm?
It was 1:30 though.
Yeah. When did we ever go to bed before 2?
She's pushing it, right? See. Do we need a quick break?
Probably.
I say that because I've been drinking tons of drink and my bladder's full. So I'm going to run to
Cool,
the
cool.
ladies' room.
Mm-hmm.
We need a ladies' room break. Be right back, guys. Why is it my bedtime? I have iced coffee and Cheez-Its. Why is it my bedtime? I don't even know. Alright, I'm back, Momo.
Welcome
We
back.
are live. Giving
I'm here. I'm just over here.
You keep
Just
what?
trying to comb. Monty.
You keep on what, Mono?
It's my bedtime and I don't know why.
Stop it.
Your bedtime?
The cheese emote! A hype cheese emote! Twitch has a cheese emote.
Mm.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, it's a bit reward.
That is so cool. Da, 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 da. Let's see.
Like, it was. Yeah, it's still Big Mono, but we're not in the game yet, so.
Yeah. I haven't changed back over yet because I got distracted by cheese. Cheese.
It's okay,
Big
I'm
Momo.
just distracted over here
Cheese?
trying to comb out shit. Monty.
Yeah. Nani? With his face. Nani? Oh no. What are you trying to say, Michigan? I need a bath. I took a shower. My hair's actually still wet. That's why I braided it so it doesn't look
Hi.
weird and wet and stringy. It just looks
Hello.
uniform and braided.
No, don't bark.
Easily
Lay down,
distracted by
Monty.
cheese. This is
But we
true.
need
Don't
the
cats like
chaos.
cheese? Don't cats like cheese?
Some do.
He was very upset that I combed him. Go lay down.
Fish Pokemon thingy.
What? Oh,
I
Barracuda.
fish Pokemon thingy.
The thing that falls into Barracuda.
We did say cheese snacks, Whizzle. Whizzle. Wiggles!
Wiggles is the whistle now.
Wiggle.
Now you're Whizzle. That's gonna stick. Whizzle.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Nom
welcome.
nom nom. Now Josh singing Barracuda.
Barracuda.
For Shizzle. Alright. I hit buttons. Recipe day. Queen of sauce.
Queen of sauce.
Cranberry candy.
Ooh.
That actually sounds good. I would try cranberry
It's gonna
candy.
be sunny tomorrow for the first day of spring.
Ew.
I know,
Like-
it means we have to clean out the vent.
I'm not trying to open that one. I'm trying to open the freaking green one.
Oh, I'm gonna put this fried
Oh,
egg
can't do
in the
anything.
chest over there. Oh, sardine frenzy!
Ooh. Yeah, we have fried eggs in the refrigerator too.
Oh, do we?
In the last freezer.
Oh. I didn't know that, otherwise I wouldn't have made one.
No, it's
Like, oh,
fine.
yeah, we need that for the
I
community.
think everybody needs to make one anyway.
Really?
Fair.
Today I had to turn my heart away.
For an achievement.
Aww.
Oh, he's just saying somewhere.
I know.
Oh yeah,
Let's
what?
go look at the
There's
greenhouse.
a raccoon.
There's eggplants
Now
in
we
here.
have a family.
Hey, Floof.
Oh, that's right. We could buy things.
I found 4 eggplants, 5 eggplants, I don't know. Greenhouse.
Nice.
Some coffee beans.
Ernie, I need you.
When
to
does the new week begin in Stardew? Is it on a Monday or on a Sunday?
Yeah. It's a Monday. And it's
So we can make all the coffee if we wanted to. How do you make coffee? Do we get a recipe
these
for that
kegs.
later? Oh, in the kegs?
In the
No,
kegs.
you just put them in the keg.
So we
Which
can
I've
make
already
coffee
done.
now.
I'll go check the.
Because coffee makes us run faster. So we
I
could
don't
get like
think
tons of
They
coffee.
gave us a new quest yet, though.
No, it'll be tomorrow.
Really?
And the
Yep.
hops aren't ready yet. There are empty spots in the greenhouse if there's any particular plant you would like to grow in here.
Can I adopt my kitty? I know it'll make it grow.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
The lady is
Do it.
here. The caravan lady.
Redeemed gun show? Okay.
Alrighty.
She has a wallflower pal. That's so cute.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Should I buy the wedding ring recipe already?
If you want to marry one of us.
Oh, it's only for you guys, right?
Yeah.
There's
All the muscles.
juice, gems, ginger ale. No, nothing really.
We also only have 2,000 now since I bought a cat.
Congratulations, your KimonoKat and follow to it. Kimacho cat, Kimacho cat.
Holy shit, there's like 5 stringies here. 5,
Run.
5,
Hide.
or 4.
Gonna hide now. Good job, good job.
Oh, it's mixing.
Macho
so
cat.
carrots.
I like that. Oh, how did I hit a button? That's weird.
Oh, your webcam is weird. Oh, what? Oh, that's a different screen. Never mind.
I'm hitting buttons. Whoa, it's because my keys are doing weird crap because I'm not on the game, and so apparently A changes your screen too, like AWS can change your screens in OBS or something.
Oh,
Yeah, apparently there's key commands to change your scenes in OBS.
oh, you can.
If you're on your
those off
keyboard.
if you'd like, I suppose.
Yeah, because I was hitting them and they were changing, and
I just put my garbage lid on my cat.
did you? So he's got a hat. He's got a
Um,
hat thingy.
I'm stuck in the
God.
forest. Where am I? Oh, there I am. What the fuck?
Da, da, da. Oh, da, da. Come back here.
Doesn't look right though.
What did you do with the cat? Sorry.
Okay.
I put my garbage hat on top of it.
You can?
Bean.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
can put hats on your animals.
Yeah, you could put hats.
What?
Yeah, like if you got a bow or ribbon or a hat, you could totally do it.
Alright.
Snoot has no wool right now.
Yeah, just take
Alright.
it and put it on your animal. Here, I wonder if I can put this copper pan on your dog.
Oh, it's just
No,
past noon. No plushies.
I can put it on my hat. My head.
You missed the plushies.
Hothead.
I think we already have the plushie though, don't we? The Junimo and the Save or not?
Oh, we need to sell stuff today because we won't have money for seeds otherwise.
Yeah, I'll sell some stuff. We'll be good.
Also, I'm gonna put these watering cans into the green.
I'll hook you guys up.
Just don't sell the frozen tears.
I'm gonna sell all the frozen tears. Just kidding.
No.
I use my side number pad for keyboard commands on OBS, or at least I used to. That's a good idea. But see, I have a stream deck, so I don't really need to do that. I was hitting. It's because I wasn't clicked on Stardew. That's what.
Guess I could go fish.
Go fish.
I figured out a
Gesundheit.
trick.
You figured out a
Oh.
trick.
I was wondering how people heart the chickens so fast because you don't have to right click if you're holding something above your head. You just or left click. You just right click and you just click on them all. Just make sure you're holding something above your head,
Oh,
and you can click them all really fast.
cool.
I was like, I had no
Hey, we
idea.
got a rabbit's foot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Finally complete the enchantment bundle.
So I can't sell it.
No,
Which bundle was it?
the enchantment, like the enchanters or whatever, the friendship with the
Mhm.
wizard one.
What do we get?
The friendship with the wizard.
What?
Friendship with the wizard.
Bridget, or at least thank you for the lurk. Thank you, Shane.
I've
Thank
never
you,
had
thank you,
that.
you're doing awesome. Thank you,
It just adds a little bit to it.
Ooh, I found a secret node.
Ooh, love secret note.
Moon at that time, this bush. I'll share.
Feels
Oh,
very vague.
yeah. It's
This
the
fish.
I think
Noon.
it's at no, it's after midnight or it's like at 12:40. I'll share it.
Yeah, I use it like a Steam Deck, but if I try to type numbers and OBS is up, it will start changing my scenes unless I use the regular top row.
Oh,
That
yeah.
makes sense. I get myself in a
Uh,
lot with that, so relatable. Bite? Oh no. Now Michigan's biting me.
It's at 12:40, right?
Yes, that is 12:40.
And which bush is it?
The second one to the left from the bridge in town on the bottom.
Okay.
Like the bridge to the beach.
Oh.
Guess we're doing that.
We could definitely do that tonight.
Yeah. You know what it is probably already.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be Streaker, isn't it?
Nope. It's gonna be even more fun than that.
Oh jeez.
What are you doing? What did I miss?
I found a secret node about something 12:40.
The
Oh.
bush near
night.
the bridge to the beach. The secret that occurs there.
I don't remember.
You will.
You
You'll
will.
remember.
Okay.
Just be there at like 12.
Yeah.
In the
We gotta meet there at noon.
Tomorrow?
Or no,
Oh,
sorry,
like
midnight.
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 Yep,
Oh.
we have to meet there at midnight.
And you said we need money to buy things in the morning for crops, I guess.
Sebastian. Come back.
I'm catching fish, so hopefully I can sell it and make some money.
Oh, I have all the hearts.
Yay!
What now? Oh, it actually is Sunday that the week starts. In Stardew. Yeah, because I just gave him a gift again.
And
it's within a 7-day period, I think, of the first gift you give him.
Maybe that's it. Yeah. So I have to go to the beach to this mysterious guy.
When it's raining, so you have to wait until at least.
Oh no!
But did you give him a bouquet yet?
No, how do I do that?
Oh, you have to go to Pierre's and get a bouquet and give it to Sebastian, and then you guys will be dating.
How much is a bouquet?
I think it's 200.
Oh, that's not a lot. That's fine.
No, it's not.
Or saving diamonds for somebody, right? We're saving diamonds for somebody, right?
Not sure.
Mostly for Marnie, but if you want to just sell them, you can.
I'm not gonna sell them all. I'm just making some money.
Small, but...
Yeah, I'm not gonna sell them. Just selling a few things. Be there or be
Making us rich.
scared.
I keep catching iridium star fish, so we'll make some monies off these guys too. You know, I'm not good at fishing.
Somebody's already been in trash. It's not me.
You want some sea jelly?
I'm gonna shake what bush near what bridge?
No, it's nearly time, Rain.
What bush? This bush near the bridge or something?
Yeah, the bridge towards.
Yeah,
the
we're down on the beach fishing. I ate it because it boosts my fish, and I have a shit ton in my.
Is it the bridge that I'm standing at?
Yeah, it's the big bush on your left.
Okay, exactly midnight.
Nope.
No, it's 12:40.
I just said midnight, so we would meet her on time.
Yeah. We're meeting there at midnight.
Oh, I'm already here.
You can do trashes if you want for a little bit.
I did. Somebody already did it.
I didn't do the one at the smithy.
It's too far
away.
Okay.
On our way.
Yeah, I'm almost.
Yeah, fuck this fish.
Oh, I caught it.
You did it.
And I leveling up.
Ooh.
So I gotta wait, shake it at 12:40?
Yeah.
I'm ready to shake this bush.
Oh,
baby.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, make sure you're not holding a weapon. Polecatch, guys. Fear Crow. He smells your fear.
Alright, shake it.
Oh,
I'm shaking it. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, I did. Right mouse button. Right mouse button.
Nothing happened.
Maybe because you guys didn't find a note yet.
Oh, maybe.
Did you get it? What'd you get?
Well, I just saw Marnie and the bear just get out of the bushes. And...
Oh, okay. They were in the bush and you shook it?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my god.
You catch them.
Oh, it's time to go to bed.
Yep.
Oh, I'm not gonna make it, am I?
Nope.
No, we're not gonna make it. Can I just go sit in the hospital?
I'm just
locked.
I'm just gonna go to the farm and hopefully that's be enough.
I'm just gonna pass out outside the hospital like it's a thing.
Almost on the farm. Almost on the farm.
That moan, though? What moan?
What?
I did. I made it to bed. I was the only one who did. Oh, goodness.
Oh, catch.
Oh, geez. We sold a lot.
There we go. I just took Lure Master, so now crab pots don't need bait.
I worked my butt off, so we have $21.
That's good.
For produce for farming. Yeah, we have all the sprinklers ready to go.
Living of the lamb. Flounder
frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord. Oh.
Hello, Kent.
Kent?
Who the fuck's
Sam's
Kent?
dad. Sam's dad.
Sam's dad, right? Mm-hmm. It's Sam's dad.
He always comes back here, too.
But where is his farm, then?
Huh?
Where is his farm?
No, Kent is Sam's dad. He lives with Sam and Jody and Vincent. He's not the new neighbor that was part of the update.
Oh.
Prices increased.
Really?
Yeah, at Prince and Robin's they increase.
Yo,
How do you know?
because we mailbox.
Oh.
Mailbox.
Oh shit. Wrong button.
Okay, so all my life I've been right clicking, and all I have to do is click and point when I'm carrying something, and I can block everybody. That's so robbed at this point of that knowledge.
Are you readjusting this?
I mean, it was on a corner for what?
It's free and cheeky, so you can come
It
out.
was two
It
away.
misses 2 squares. It's kind of. I mean, we can, but.
Yeah, I mean, it would only
I mean, there's a
miss one.
scarecrow and there's so it's 3
Uh-oh,
squares.
I think I
It's
murdered a
2
seed.
Oh. It was right where you're standing at?
No, I put it back.
Oh.
That's where it was. But I found it a bit useless, I think, but.
What did you say to get 3 stars? Artist got auto-modded.
It's only gonna miss one.
What do you mean 1?
Right?
It's 2 of the spaces are in the water, and the other one is the scarecrow.
Oh, that's fine. That'll be fine.
I mean, I thought it would be better to put it like near the preserve jars on the space.
Kitty! I see
Yeah,
Rain's
3
kitty.
spaces more.
Kitty is so cute.
It's fine.
That's so cute. Oh, we got our first mushroom. Good piggy. Good job.
I love how she hops with.
That's new. You didn't used to be able to move, I don't think, doing that.
We can mix some oil.
Why can't I do this one? That's weird.
And I can get these guys out.
We need to move that lantern. That's a waste of space. Give me the thing. We're probably gonna need more farm.
We'll see.
We should have gotten more stuff to make sprinklers, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think I'm at the higher level sprinklers yet here. Oh yeah, I am. Oh, I can even make iridium sprinklers now if we get the stuff. We
Ooh.
just gotta go get iridium.
How much do they do?
Oh, they do a big area. But you can do it's like 8 squares, I think, or something. Yeah.
Water's the 24 adjacent tiles, so yeah.
Yeah, 24.
Do we need any special crops yet, or is it just gonna be for money?
So I'll need gold, iridium, and a battery.
We do need the red cabbage.
Right. Oh, 244 gold for being brought back.
So yeah, as soon as we can make iridium sprinklers, we'll be doing real good.
I'm gonna put down this fertilizer at least.
We need a miner. I need to go mine.
Yeah, well, she
No
hasn't
kidding.
been here for a while.
I know, and I can't do both. I need to stop doing animals and start doing mining. But animals has been making us so much money.
It has. Especially in the winter when we have nothing else.
Oh, we still have 8 cauliflower seeds.
Oh yeah, shit.
And we have some rice shoots.
Yeah,
I think that's
the rice.
spring too.
The rice, I think are.
But Jeff
spring.
called the
Just
fear
have to
crow.
plant them alongside the water.
Yeah. Yeah, that's spring too. Yeah, okay, cool.
We can definitely make more.
I didn't realize we had stuff up there too. I just
Get more
picked
truffles
carrots
machines.
that were in the red one.
We need more truffle
I
oil
planted them
machines.
so cursed.
How
I
much
thought I
are
had more.
those?
It's okay.
Those are hardwood. Dang it. Yeah, Momo, we need to get you on the hardwood mission too. So you get done gardening this year. We gotta get you back doing hardwood things.
Yeah, I did that yesterday as well.
Did you? Okay, good, because we need that. Don't forget there's one behind this barn.
Oh.
The
You have
hidden one.
More, Rain?
What?
Fertilizer? Oh wait, they're in the chest, right?
They're in the chest. I just put them.
Do y'all want me to make some regular sprinklers like that if I can?
Or if you
Come on.
wanted to get the ones out of the greenhouse, I can just go through the greenhouse ones, like,
Nah.
and redo the greenhouse.
Well, it looks like I can
Make it
make
a
a
little bit more
couple.
organized.
3, 4, 5. I just made 5 more. That wasn't bad.
Going to the store.
I just made 5 more sprinklers.
Woo! Choo-choo.
I'm just gonna put them in the chest and let you guys figure out where they go.
No worries.
Oh, I hope I'm gonna be
cauliflower
on
too.
time. 4 p.m. right?
Mm-hmm.
I really need seeds on the first day.
You're so cute. And then
Oh, it's a cutscene. Don't have time for that.
No.
Bye.
Yeah, I always skip them.
I'm
Okay,
about skipping.
are we
them as
getting
well.
beans or what?
We definitely need red cabbage if you can get a hold of that.
I don't see that he has it.
Doesn't have red cabbage?
No.
Mm.
We have the trees, like the peach trees and such.
I wonder if it's a summer item then.
There's garlic seeds, jazz, kale, tulip, potato, cauliflower, bean, and parsnips.
Organic
definitely
heirloom veggies. These are
I mean,
handpicked
you
and
wanna
sorted
do
to ensure
beans?
only the very finest in quality and taste.
I don't think we need them because when we get
You don't
the
need.
seeds,
I mean, it's yeah. We could do cauliflower, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or
25,000 gold. Yeah, nobody wants to pay 25,000 gold
isn't there
for
a
your,
seed that re-harvests or
for your
re?
heirloom veggies. Oh, he's gone. Dang it.
Don't think in spring then.
Left.
Ew,
Hold on.
cauliflower. Ugh. I think only the bean ones is the one that keeps going
Yeah,
all
I
summer.
think that one's the one that reproduces.
Do we want any or we don't want them?
Go ahead, because we could plant those ones outside.
I think that's the oak.
How many cauliflowers should I get then? 40?
That's up to you.
I don't know. I don't know how much. I'll just get 40.
Okay, red cabbage is a summer one, that's why. Okay.
There's like nothing. Oh, there's rice shoots as well, but
yes. Yeah, but we don't necessarily need those. That is convenient though.
Jeez.
And we don't have a mill yet either, so.
Do you guys want like apple trees, pomegranate, peach, orange, those things?
We need the apple one, I think.
Okay, I'll buy the apple. Is there an apple? Did I say apple? Yes, I did.
I could plant that in here.
We only need the apple? Then we need orange as well?
No, we have orange.
Okay. Okay, out of the store. Ooh, help wanted. Invasive crab species, slay 3 of them, and I get a ticket. Yay.
Dun, dun.
See if there's a new community board as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Fragments of the past. 100 pieces of what?
Bone.
Bone, yeah, okay.
Probably.
And the other is grub.
We're at like 40.
We'll do the grub.
Okay. Where is the bone?
We only have like
do it
40.
It's much harder.
Okay.
Yeah, the entire time we've been playing, we've been collecting the bones, and we only have like 40. So it'll take a really long time.
Alright, Sebastian.
What level?
I wanted to give him the bouquet.
What level is the iridium, I wonder?
It varies.
What fairies?
Where iridium is at. It's usually in the magma area.
The crabs?
No.
Already.
Iridium.
Shit. Where is Sebastian? Train?
Get up me. Die already.
No!
Why?
He finally got the bouquet and he's
Why do you gotta be a red slime? It's gonna murder me.
I passed out.
What? Oh.
I
I was
almost
like,
did.
the game is bugging, but you use too much energy?
Yep. So
Oh,
if you
jeez.
still overexert yourself and still do things,
Oh, that's Krobus, isn't it?
you will pass out.
Is that Krobus? No.
Are we
I'm so
planting the tree in the
confused.
orchard?
No,
Why?
we're
No?
putting it in the greenhouse. You can just put it in
Oh,
the
okay.
chest. In there.
What?
What's wrong, Mona?
You have to kill that thing.
Yeah, I thought it was Krobus for a second. I was like, what the heck?
No.
So confused.
Krobus lives in the sewers.
I know, but he looks like Krobus.
Yeah, he is a shadow person.
I feel like I'm not high enough level to be down here. Just want iridium, guys. You guys are trying to murder me. I'm not very appreciative of all this murder stuff.
Why don't I even have one? I don't even have one watering can.
It's in the greenhouse.
Okay.
And I think I have the steel one.
How do I put the tree in the greenhouse?
You just put it in the chest.
In a chest?
In
Yes.
the chest, and I will put it down.
I want to know how to do it.
You have to put it in there on the edge, but you have to space it a certain amount apart from the others too. So is it like 2 or 3
it's right
spaces?
here. Then.
Two. You need a spacing of 2.
Yeah.
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 And where do we want the beans? Outside?
Wild Peta appeared. Peta. Ooh, a secret note.
Kind of have to put them where we don't
2 of
have
them.
to go.
Parts still needed for my greatest invention yet. Gold bar, iridium bar, battery pack, diamond, and strawberries.
They're just things she likes.
Does she craft something?
No. That's just stuff you can give her. She doesn't feel affected. I think.
Oh, time to sleep. Ooh, ooh.
I'm in the mine too. Crap. Leave. Bus stop. At least I made it to the bus stop and not in the mine. If I was in the mine, I would have lost all my stuff. Fully. It's too good. Too good.
Oh, sorry, you're waiting on me.
That's okay.
Feathers. Move your head, but yup. Like your foot.
Ooh.
I don't want to eat it.
Ooh, higher quality fertilizers. Up
Ooh.
here.
Ooh. $1,000.
Dollar bills.
Yup. For passing out.
I'm making penis jelly.
What jelly?
Eggplant jelly. I said nothing. Or preserved eggplant. I don't know what it turns out to be.
Preserve.
I thought they won't hear it. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. We hear everything.
Playing with this back.
So you know when a chat heard. It's fine. I didn't want to drink the jelly. Fuck it.
So you made it and then you drank it.
No,
That's
no,
what I
No, I drank some.
She drank
did I
what?
get? She gave me wool. Oh. Hi, Max. I
Mm-hmm.
forgot what I named you.
So we have these
Oh,
little
come in.
bins now to throw stuff into.
What bins?
I got a bin thingamajiggy.
Ooh. Hack. Bork. All the sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. Come here.
Coffee! Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save that for when I gotta run really fast.
You won't want to, Rain. Forgot I had them.
Oh, this is so much easier. So yeah, when they're hiding in the grass, just put something over your head and mad click in the grass until you see hearts appear everywhere. This is so much easier. I got them all. Death with the slurpy.
Did you? Where's the rabbit foot?
I still have it. I just haven't put it in there yet. I should go do that.
I was going to do that right now.
That way I could. Does it do anything?
What?
Rub it real hard. You'll see.
Let's see.
Well, I
Why
want
would
it. We need to put it in the bulletin.
Communities.
Yeah, it's a community thing.
A community thing, yeah.
Isn't that what they say? It's for luck, right? When you rub a rabbit's foot?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it has that function.
What is that? There, it's dead. Is that a rock? It is a rock. And a plant.
Bam. Can I have the rabbit foot?
No,
No,
thank you.
you can't have it! It's mine!
What Mona's gonna say though? No. Jeff is just enjoying the conversation. Isn't he?
Missy! Ah! She's trying to hook me! That's even worse. Here you go. I give up. You want to know something that shocked me? What is it? What is it, Goofy? Goofy, what shocked you? What shocked you? Tell me.
Did you find two people in a bush too?
Oh yeah, we found two people in a bush. Apparently. That's the thing. You shake the bush and they come out. You know that little incident in the ocean? Yeah, the one we were just talking about? The bush one?
No. They're talking
What is-
about the billionaire in the ocean incident.
Oh.
I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna.
Yeah, the song? Was it all fake? Tell me.
I'm gonna
Tell
give
me.
my bouquet to Sebastian.
Are they really alive?
You wanna see?
I need to know.
Right, I'm gonna give the bouquet.
The same company is doing it again. What the heck?
They would do it again. Yay! You.
What the heck?
I'm not surprised.
Really?
I've never really had a girlfriend before. Neither have I.
That seems suspicious. Who allowed the company to do it again? I don't know. I guess you can do
Oh,
what
are they
you
gonna
want
use an Xbox controller this time?
when you have that much money to buy something. Yeah. Xbox
Oh.
controller.
Well, last time they used a game controller or something and it failed, or the battery was empty, something.
Yeah.
To drive the sub?
The
Yep.
Romco. Oh my god, Joe. It would be Romco though.
We will never learn. We will just evolve backwards, right? Why did they think, why did they think, never mind. That's why NASA left the ocean and stopped exploring the ocean, because it was just more dangerous
Not
than
meant to be
space.
explored.
It was more dangerous than
Old gods
space.
do not want us to explore the ocean. Stop it.
Will
Not
my...
meant to go deep.
Do I still have to keep talking to him every day?
Yes.
Really?
That's crazy, though.
Yeah.
Crazy news.
You lose.
I think they
Okay.
used an Xbox controller last time. Will it be a PlayStation controller this time?
No, because
Oh.
PlayStation's
That's
only
what I
compatible with
said.
so many things. Xbox is more versatile.
No, this time they're gonna use a VR Oculus 2 thingamajiggy.
MetaQuest 2.
Hey guys, what level do I go
The
to for
electrical
the crab thing?
failed, and the bulk of the sub was so weak.
Crab
Literally, the
enemy?
window that the
Oh.
sub had was 3000 m below the depth requirement. Wow, why did they
Usually on
go
lower
below the
versions,
requirements?
beginning ones.
Yeah, I'm at 20 now. I think.
Oh, because the electrical failed and they probably accidentally went below the
Oh,
thingamajiggy.
there he is. Thought I need to get... Oh, it's a lava crab. Never mind.
This
What type
time,
is
want to
lava
know
again?
something just great?
Wait, a
Sorry,
lava
a
crab?
thinner sub
What is
wall
a-
and
what is
thinner
lava
bulk.
again? 90?
They just don't want to spend as much money to do the same thing. Ay, ay, ay.
Is it? Oh.
Wait,
Hi,
I
80.
gotta get the truffle.
Or is this
No,
truffle?
the grub is the bug. It's on the
No,
top
it's
one.
I
15
have
to
this
29.
one. I have this one.
Oh, you're doing a bounty. That's right.
Yeah. But I don't know which level
Okay, we're
the
good.
lava is on. Is my watering can here? No, it's not.
Ouch. System failed, and
It's
then
from
the bulk of
100.
the sub was so weak it actually began seeping, and then it happened. This time, yes, thinner walls, thinner bulk. Just less protection on the pressure aspects. Oh, God. You know what?
That's one.
Just let them keep doing their thing. So did y'all use the extra
Grub.
sprinklers I made? I don't think y'all did you? Oh, we
We
didn't
didn't
plant
use
more
them yet.
crops?
No. I need to buy more seeds as well.
Jeez.
Seeds.
Okay. That was a thing. And oh yeah, I have coffee beans. I can put those over here. Purple. Welcome. How's it hanging? Good. The company knows exactly what
shit,
they're
I
doing.
died.
I can't wait for this company to shut down. Yeah. I guessing they have like a huge insurance policy out on this or something. I don't even know.
Be surprised.
I lost 3 items from my backpack. No. Oh, it's okay.
Oh.
It's... Oh no,
I
it's
feel
the
like
9 gold ore. Fuck.
rigged,
And my chowder.
exclamation rigged, and hacks comes to mind.
Rip.
And I'll just put that in there too because I can. And that. But it's going good, Purple. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Stardew.
I don't think I've
I
ever
think I'm gonna put the
in here.
truffle oil in the fridge. Why am I just carrying wood over my head? I don't know. Truffle oil.
Oh, I do need a truffle for the bulletin too.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
I just sold one. I didn't realize that. Okay, but I put truffle oil in the fridge so we can have truffle oil later on. And I don't know why I'm carrying the bin around. I meant to leave that in like the thing. In like the egg hut thingamajiggy. I'm just gonna leave these extra bins to so we each get one, right? An extra disposable bin thingamajiggy. Mini shipping bin. I can just come in here and grab stuff. Ship it right back from here. Keep my inventory later.
Bun? What the fuck?
Oh, hold on to the
Each.
strange bun.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we need it for a thingy.
A thingy.
Okie day. Oh yeah, I found another crab. Yes. Just need one more.
Do you play Stardew, Purple? But yeah, that sounds crazy goofy. Crazy.
Oh, I found a starry slime. What you gonna give me?
Slime.
A slime with a star on his head. So it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
a special slime.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Alright,
He's a tough one.
We have
Immunity
that.
band.
We have that.
Nice.
50 and a gold. I'm thinking
I
we
like them if
don't
you
have the gold bar as the thing. We do.
I need
we
to do
miss it.
something fast. Oh shit,
Miss it.
Escaping.
50 slimes?
Oh shit. Okay, I'm getting out of here.
Oh, I'll miss that. Oh,
Leave mine. Oh, fuck you. I got out of the mine. I still died.
there.
How?
There.
What did I lose this time?
It's almost midnight.
I got surgery.
I mean, it is midnight.
1,000 gold.
Wild.
Right off my shrimp cocktail.
Oringo.
Ah.
That's a big,
The shrimp cocktail.
big chicken coop. Yes. It is a big giant chicken coop.
I'm pissed. I got out of the
We've
mine in
expanded
time.
it all the way.
It still gave me damage.
That's as big as it gets. See, look at this one. This one's big too.
All
At
the
least I
animals are in Mono's house.
At least I didn't lose the bun.
All three? Aww.
All three of them.
Cute. If y'all get a shipping bin, we can put one in the cow barn. That would be awesome.
Oh,
Bedtime.
it's bedtime.
On my way.
Why is it so hard to pet the dog?
So have you played Stardew? Stardew is wonderful. Look, there's 2 kitties and a doggo in our house now. Love
I'm
it.
mad that you just paused to look at the animals.
To pet the animal. When I had like a split second left to get in bed. I'm distracted easily.
Clearly.
I've never played this far though. You've played just not this far? Yeah.
What?
Day 3 of spring year 2. I won't talk about the number of hours I have in Stardew. Probably 1,000 if you don't count the Steam hours at this point. So, I mean the offline hours because of modding and stuff when I do mod. This game is vanilla though. But I do play modded games as well. I'm just gonna put that in there. That makes me wonder what else I could be making that I can't because the stuff is over here versus over here. I know these things, most of these don't count, but we're gonna put them in there just to see. Could it be weird?
Do you need crap for the cooking or not?
Ma'am, I need to put a thing in there.
What?
Okay, I'm out.
Thank you.
You're out of the closet?
By the way, say hi to Momo
Been
from
out for a while.
Reeve.
Reeve says hi.
Yes.
Hello!
Reeve
Sorry.
says hi, Momo. Why do chicken coops only have
Reeve,
2
hey
doors?
there. What's that?
I don't know. Why do they have 2 doors versus 1?
How you doing, Reeve-roo? Honk. Honk.
Honk.
I could just keep honking back at the quackies.
At the ducks.
Mm-hmm.
I keep clicking on the wrong thing. So, I really want gold,
Michigan getting old
coal,
house.
and wood. I could have made a seed maker if I have 25 wood, 10 gold, and 10 copper and 1 gold, but I don't even think I have 1 gold. Oh, it's the wood I don't have still. I don't even have 25 wood.
Some gold. I grabbed some gold bars from the community center from doing one of the bundles.
Nice.
So
I
there's
just
a total of 7 in there now.
okay. I just need the wood. That's the problem. Still, trees need to hurry up and start growing.
Oh, you need
Because if they had
hardwood, right?
4, I'd be a chicken sedan. Oh my god! Instead of a coupe. Michigan, stop biting yourself. That's
Well,
not
you
good for
still
doggo
need
health.
more hardwood?
No regular wood. We're still waiting for trees to
Oh.
grow.
Okay.
So I can make a seed maker for you guys. So you guys can start making, multiplying fruit and seeds and stuff.
Did we have a shroom chest yet?
No.
We can use the middle one in front of your house.
I don't think I've checked the fruit cave at all.
Me
But
neither, but I got some
Fine.
shroom.
there's probably like 50 million fruits in there by now.
Probably.
Let's see. I don't need the rock. I need the trees to hurry up and start growing. They're so slow.
Aren't the trees in the forest already grown? What?
They should be.
Are they?
I
Are
think
they?
they're instantly grown when it's spring or something.
So I just went to the
Wait
wrong
for
place.
juice. I'll check for you. I'm closer, but I need to go to the mine though. There's some bigger
Princess.
trees in the forest.
Okay, good.
Like not the ones we planted, but the ones that are generally there.
They just grow.
Yeah. Not all
Is
of
it
them, but
spring,
some.
right?
At least
Yeah, that's
two.
at spring year 2. Yeah.
There's not a lot though. It's 2 of them, I think. Maybe more.
Spring year 2.
It's okay. I'll go. I'll deforest a little bit.
I keep
Oh
writing
yeah,
notes.
there's some down here as well. Ah, fuck it. I'll cut them while I'm at it.
Let's see. We'll just
I think we forgot about all the oak juice down here.
vanilla carved pumpkin kiki and amethyst under my pillow, chocolate cake, the thrill of spicy eel, and the comfort of mom's blackberry cobbler. This is Abigail's diary.
She oh.
Amethyst,
Chocolate
chocolate cake,
y'all.
spicy eel, and blackberry cobbler.
Okay.
That's what she likes.
Fine,
Carved
yeah.
pumpkins too as well. Shouts to my
Mona,
favorite
you don't have to
NPC,
go down to the
Linus.
sewer.
Linus
Oh,
is
no?
it? Huh?
You don't have to go down to the sewer. I already got those.
Oh.
the trays.
She's up north anyway.
Oh.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on going into the sewer.
No, near the sewer, I said. But
It
I
really
got
does.
chopping
Ah.
trees, so that's why.
There you go. I gave Linus food.
Oh.
Linus needs food.
We're gonna talk to the mouse, the hat mouse.
Oh. Oh, the raccoon eats dried purple mushroom and 5 cave carrots.
He'll be
That's a
lucky if we
bitch.
can find purple
I already need a purple.
for the community center.
It's dried
Yeah.
purple mushroom, so
I
we need like
know.
5 to dry them. And we need 5 cave carrots.
He's gonna be waiting forever.
Mhm.
Oh, they are selling carrot seeds though in exchange for a maple seed. And summer squash seeds in exchange for sap. And broccoli in exchange for moss.
You give Linus the food and the. Then you go check the trash instead, right? Because
trash.
I am a trash panda. I am a trash panda, 100%. I can't help it. I gotta check all the trash. And
You can get some good stuff.
yeah, you do. You really do. Making a path down to the bottom so I know where it's at.
Making
yeah,
our way downtown.
But yeah, you can make room and put more sprinklers down and more seeds. We
There's
still haven't bought
3 fruits
seeds.
in the cave.
We still haven't bought seeds, have we? Y'all could plant coffee, I think, maybe. I don't know if it's the right time of year or not, but
Yeah, it is. I have
you need
some
to-
coffee in my thing. I was gonna go through and redo the greenhouse a little bit to make it a little bit more organized.
you still need this truffle, right?
Yeah.
And I got a couple of those for you.
That's just for the community center.
How have you been, Reeve?
Mama says, how are you?
Doing? How you doodling?
Doodling. Doodling just well, right?
Mm-hmm. Honk, honk.
I mean, if she needs. I don't know if the sheepy needs shared yet or not. Get back here. Nope, that's
put some wood in the chesto. 111.
Here, cows. I need your milk.
Okay.
I have not much.
That's a strange line to use.
Well, well, that's just like
there.
the one that
I
got.
need your milk. What?
No worse than the one I got quoted on earlier.
Which one was that?
Don't fall asleep. I'm milking you, or something like that.
Oh jeez.
Oh yeah.
Oh jeez. No.
Shane quoted it. So it's in the quotes forever now. I need your milk. Yes. Give it. Give it.
You got milk. I need some crabs.
Right.
From the lava crabs. Yes. Yes. I'm just gonna specify that now.
Yeah.
Why?
Specify.
Things are getting a little.
Why?
Did any of y'all else get the bins?
Was I
the only one that got a bin? Like,
what?
I don't know why I got it in the mail. Nobody else did.
I didn't.
I'm not sure anymore.
Oh, there's truffles in there too. That's good to know.
You're okay? Okay. That's good, I suppose.
Cat, I
Oh,
feel.
there's bound to be one crab here. There's so many
the way you do.
red shell things.
I don't think I checked on the chickens today either.
Oh,
and
make
it's
sure
like,
you go to the museum and get your ancient seed.
Oh, I need
Do
to go
what?
do that.
Gotta go to the museum at some point and get your ancient seed,
Oh,
and,
yes.
and then put it in the
No.
greenhouse chest.
Nugget is trying to
Oh,
sleep.
I found a
I
purple
know.
shroom.
Found one.
Yes.
Oh, yay, for the
Yay.
community center.
Well, yes. Oh,
That one you can put in the community center.
okay. They're on the lava level, so just so you know.
Oh, okay. I
What
need
is this
iridium
one of?
eventually, so we can get iridium sprinklers, but that's just a dangerous journey.
Which one is that for the
Iridium
community
sprinklers.
center?
It's the only one left, bulletin board, and it's the
What do we get?
I don't know
Is there
what
an
we
egg in
get
there?
from it. It's the field research.
Oh, that's that one.
Demetrius.
See that. And then I forgot we can go bloop bloop doo, 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 doo. All those things gone.
Come on, just give me one crabby.
Eat large egg. No. Yeah, I
No.
won't eat the raw egg.
Why am I doing
I
this?
don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want the
I
raw
missed my
egg.
day, so
Have
took
it.
it for nothing. Oh, I guess we got the purple shroom now. So it wasn't all for nothing.
Yeah.
Where are the grubs at?
Seed maker
Beginning?
has been
15
obtained.
to
We
29.
got more looms. I don't really want to make
Guess I
more
can
looms.
Go there, or
Make
I'll
more
just hang out
cappers.
just
I don't really
looms
want
and-
that.
Or how many days do we still have? No, I'm too late now. Never mind.
Anything I'll need more kegs and preserves, but
Each large egg. No, I feel that. I always keep eating the things I'm holding. It's so annoying.
I'm gonna wait on crafting a whole lot of stuff because I don't want to use up all the wood just yet. Cause we're still trying to grow it. But I did make a single seed maker just now, so
I see that. You can put it in the greenhouse.
Would ya?
in the greenhouse. A
Good
wild
God,
purloin.
here I come.
Why did they name it
You guys
purloin?
ready
It
for an
sounds like
event
sirloin,
tonight?
like you're supposed to eat it or something.
Oh, we still need 3
What?
apples as well. I thought we were done.
Sirloin? You don't have a
bamboo.
trainer pass yet. Hit exclamation poke start to get your first Pokemon. You can do it.
Hell
Can't we buy some apples?
Yeah,
where
should
was I
be
going
growing
to
'em
pick
now.
What now? Where did I
yeah. Oh,
need
you
to
can't go there right now. The
Oh, okay.
museum.
Too late, too late. Asha, what?
And do. There. I can
I
take
got a new
these.
trash machine from the
Seeds work
community
too.
center.
Hell yeah.
Energy out. Those out. Those out.
That was the
Those
thing
out.
that Demetrius gave us.
Those out. Those can come out. Things that don't go to crafting can come out.
Just come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar.
These can go back in there. And this one.
Yeah, I know. I'm losing my head.
Yep. If you need lights
Bedtime.
for the
Bedtime. Bedtime.
oh shit.
Ding dong. Ding dong.
Run! If you need lights
Just
for
gonna
the
be annoying.
greenhouse, because it's always
Boring.
so dark, there are plenty of torches in the chest.
Little Jimmy Jimmy. Got him.
Congratulations on catching purloin. Now you have the sirloin of cats.
Watch this. Watch Puddles.
It does not mean it is food. I do have Cheez-Its, so. Want to Cheez-It? Cheez-Its. Let's see. Can't see the camera. Cheese it.
We watch the bottom corner over here.
You're very happy getting Oshawott as a starter? I'm happy for you. Your fave, cheese.
Come on, baby.
Cheese. I think we're taking a snack break and a bubble break. Rain's blowing bubbles to puddles over here for kitty cat. Do you eat like blue cheese? I'm not a fan of blue cheese, but I like feta cheese.
Oh, Mono, if you're not a fan of blue cheese, or like you should try it like on a cracker with some honey. It changes things. If you ever are in a position, I get it that you wouldn't
you can
buy
see
it
'em
just
down
for
there
I just
trying
don't like
it,
that.
but-
I don't like musky flavored food. Like I don't like goat cheese either.
Oh yeah, my mom
I
doesn't like
actually
that.
love goat
I
cheese.
love it. You either hate it or you love it. That's the thing with goat cheese. Like
Blue
my
cheese
mom,
is gross.
my mom
I
at
can't do.
least she says it's like no, I still smell goat.
Goat cheese, that musk is like a skunk. You're eating skunk spray. I don't want to eat skunk spray.
He loves his bubbles.
That's what it tastes like to me. It tastes like a skunk sprayed on the cheese, and you're gonna eat it. Okay. But I have had like the mild goat cheese where it's not as strong, and I can tolerate that, but I'm still not a fan. It still tastes like a skunk spray on it.
Bubbles. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Puddles, bubbles.
Loves he does. He really loves his bubbles. Hey, come
I
here.
never
I'm not done with
been
you.
near a skunk, but I like blue cheese. So you've never smelled a skunk?
Oh God, smell of skunk. Awful.
Yeah. Here you smell them all the time. Like going down the highway, you'll like
Yeah, but that's
be
a
like,
different smell than
what was that?
being sprayed by him.
Oh yeah. No. Mm. Yeah. No, sometimes it's really strong and then sometimes it's not. So I never want to be sprayed by one. I totally have not been sprayed by one.
No, I haven't either, but I've smelled it.
We don't even have skunks in the Netherlands, so nope. Yeah, in the zoo
Yeah.
maybe. But honestly, I'm so jealous that you guys have raccoons.
Trash pandas.
Oh,
They're adorable. Did you ever see the ones that
they wash their food.
Oh.
Have you seen the ones I video recorded in my yard that time? The babies? I was like shocked. I have never seen raccoons up that close before. And I came home from work one day,
So angry.
opened my car door, and I heard this noise that I didn't recognize. And I thought it was off in the distance, and I went to step out and I looked down, and there was two little baby raccoons right there. Like
Cute.
as soon as they pulled up, they had run under my car and come to see who I was, and then they saw I was a human, and they were like, they backed up a little bit. But then they like slowly crawled to a fence, and I videoed them as they were in the fence and in the tree. I was like, 4 feet from them. They weren't scared at all. That's the thing. Raccoons aren't afraid. They were like slightly afraid and then just like slowly wandering away from me, but they didn't like dart and run from me at all. They were just like, I'm not so sure about you. That's kind of how they were. They were just like, I'm not so sure about you. I'm gonna like slowly walk away from you, slowly climb up this fence, slowly climb up this tree. But they were still like in reaching distance even in the tree.
I guess they saw a cat.
Yeah, they were very curious. I guess they were very curious. They're just babies, and raccoons can be that way, I think, in general. I used to watch this, I think it was either TikTok or Instagram lady that, She called it the raccoon daycare service because the mom would
Oh,
come
yeah,
drop the
TikTok.
babies off every season, and she would feed the babies and get like dishes of water out for the babies. And then sometimes the mom would just disappear for the whole day and leave them there. So I felt like that's kind of what happened. Like the mom just left them in my yard for the day and disappeared. And I was like, I tried throwing some blackberries to them, but they didn't want them. But since then, I've heard that I've seen somebody else like try different types of food with raccoons, and they don't like blackberries. So I'm like,
They like hot dogs.
Also, I have a
apparently.
bubble gun for him because he loves bubbles.
but I didn't know that
Yeah, I saw a guy on TikTok. He was he keeps
raccoons
feeding
could maybe
raccoons, and he
depend
had
on
like this little
people.
baking tray
You know,
with
they're trash.
full of
Yes.
hot dogs, and they would just keep on. He would come outside with the baking tray,
Wow.
like 50 hot dogs, and he would sit down on his porch, and they would all come like, gimme, 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 and they would get one, and they scurry off, and they start eating it, and like, no,
Oh,
you
that's so
already have
cute.
one, like. So
But yes, raccoons totally get in your trash. One neighborhood I lived in, I literally had to like bungee cord our trash can lids shut because the trash pandas would literally get in the trash every night, digging through your trash bags, tearing them open, looking for scraps in your stuff. You know, especially if you had like chicken wings, they would go after like the chicken wing leftovers, the bones and stuff, and they'd pull them out. And they definitely go from trash can to trash can, and that's why they call them trash pandas. Very bone, yeah. They like anything in there, really. That's why we call them trash pandas. Because they will get in your trash and tear it up and drag it all over your yard, just like a dog running around the neighborhood can knock over your trash can and cause havoc and tear it up all over the place.
I guess Puddles is done with his bubbles. Now I can play again.
Your number one hater is here. Welcome, hater.
Hey,
Where you been?
training. Go get your mermaid pendant.
Woo!
You want me to guide you there?
Isn't it on the beach?
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me, because I totally forgot.
That's
Oh, fist
him.
bump.
There he is.
This is eel, and spirits are in good humor.
Y'all are so excited you didn't even pet the animals, I tell you.
I'm gonna get my husband. I forgot to say hi to him yesterday, though. My boyfriend. Oh, Flint is just giving out gold bars, by the way.
Oh, that's nice. Didn't he want one? No, he wants an iron bar.
And the carrots are done.
I don't want any iron bars. Let's see.
We're keeping all the carrots, right? It's for food.
Oh, I forgot the coal.
I'll put them in the mining chest. Or no, I'll put them in the middle
Ooh,
green chest.
that's nice.
Let's keep
Somebody
some
was
myself.
busy in the mine. Got us lots of gold.
Yeah, I was busy.
Both of us were.
Thank you.
There's carrots here in the middle one for food. Yeah, you want?
Okay.
You didn't remember what the strange bun was for, right? So I'll just keep it in my chest, I suppose.
Okay.
Wait, I have two now. Did I find another one? What the fuck?
Hold on,
What's their names?
Okay.
Oh, the names of the animals? Let me see if it tells you when I right click again. Oh, I think I
Last
just
one is
go.
Puddles.
Oh yeah, right, Mona.
Puddles?
Remember, do not eat
Does
the
it tell
cave
you?
carrots, because we need them.
Where do we see the
Go
pets'
under your
names at again?
There's an
There it
animal
is.
tab.
Puddles, Orange Kitty, and Ditzy. That's Momo's dog. That's my cat.
Ditzy.
And that's Rain's cat.
Named
Mono,
after my IRL black
Mhm.
cat.
don't eat the cave carrots.
I'm gonna eat them all.
No, because the raccoons need them.
I don't need them.
The raccoons do.
I'm good, I won't eat them. I won't
Good
eat
girl.
them.
No.
I'm not gonna eat the cave carrots.
I'm on the beach, Momo.
Okay.
Coming.
Okay, so I can make another
He's on
seed
the
maker,
right.
but I don't want
I
to. I can
remember
make preserves,
correctly.
tree tappers. I
Yeah.
don't need to. I think we still have plenty of oak
I'm hearing.
at this point.
Okay. Sorry.
I
Puddle's
know
just
he's
having
on the
fun.
top,
Oak resin.
Yeah.
because I
Is
remember you saying
right
that I
here.
couldn't do
Mhm.
anything with him yet.
11. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Good,
Okay.
I'm not making any more tappers.
Look at my worms.
Alright. Nice
I've got
choice.
this old Emmet cell, but something tells me you're
Nico,
not ready
Nico,
for this. What?
Dash, welcome to the stream.
Huh?
Oh.
Did my friendship level drop?
You have 2 extra hearts you gotta get with him.
I did not know that. Is it big? Oh, is it? I unlocked the 2 extra hearts. Okay, well, I've frozen chair with me. Sebastian, come. I've got this chair to ship for you, boy.
There we go.
Won't fall. Wait, I have to go to the library, right?
Mm-hmm.
There, okay, so they've all been hearted up.
Around me.
Da, 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 da.
Guilty to come home. We still need to do the mine thing for the grubs.
There's a truffle waiting for you guys in the
Ancient
chest
seed
of the house,
recipe.
too.
We can make them too.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Let's see. Did I save one of those? I think so.
Never mind now.
I did. Okay, we're good.
What do we need all the wood for, by the way, Mono? For new stables?
Crafting.
Crafting. Hmm.
Kegs, preserve jars, expanding houses, all kinds of things.
Oh no, you're soaked. Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
actually,
that's
that
Robin.
would-
Hey, Sebastian. You look great.
And
I've been thinking about you all day.
if I could just chill and farm and have other people mine and shit, I would be happy. Stardew player? I mean, it's possible.
I don't know why, but the girl kid, she looks so old on her portrait.
You just have to play with other people.
Mario?
Yeah.
She's not like a kid.
She looks
I'll
like
catch
a
Golbat.
kid.
I can't. I'm killing grubs.
We do another stream, so this is the girls only game save, but we have another
For
farm.
fuck's sake. I swear Pokemon community is getting back at me because
We
I
have
said I'm
a
not that much into Pokemon. Every time. Every
we
time.
have a purple doggo farm, and this is the
Ow.
pink cat farm. So basically, we have 2 saves that I play live, and 2 different groups. The people that play, although Momo and Rain play on both groups. So
With that.
if you really want to play, once I figure out my schedule for this month, you
That's
could just
fucked.
farm.
Read.
You could just farm and would not have to do all the things and the stuff.
Michigan, I did not consent to that.
Bite. Oh, who you biting? I got him. Nice. Lucky. Michigan is biting you, apparently, yeah.
I know. I said I didn't consent.
Wait, I am milking the same creatures over and over. Stop. And click. Apparently he's done. Okay. Alright, so this side of the barn he's done. Nope. Does nobody have any milk because it's rainy?
Probably.
They're all refusing to.
Can't find any grubs.
15 to 29.
Where am I? 14.
Since when do we get gold cloth?
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, he's giving us gold. Or was it a different one? Sorry.
Or gold wool. Gold wool.
Wool. Mm.
Yeah. I've never seen different colored wool before.
I got some grubs.
Here from the US then? Yeah. Yes, I am. That was the Lady Rain.
You culled the local fly populate. Is that?
Yep.
Are we done now?
No.
Oh.
No,
When did
that
you
was
get
just
that?
an Adventurers Guild thing.
Ah.
I just had a bunch coming after me, so.
Oh my.
I don't want to sell all that.
Set the world on fire.
I feel like I'm doing the same thing, just another day.
Smoke weed every day.
Oh, there's already in here.
This is
Interesting.
the emptiest mine I've ever had. What the fuck?
There's some grubs.
And
Yep. Got him. Got some new... Wait, how do I get out of here? There's nothing. What the fuck?
What?
Oh, there's one monster in the sand. That's it. If I kill him, then the stairs? No. There... Huh?
no. But yeah, I'm
A
in the
way,
US.
a way has appeared?
Mm.
So,
So you were on a monster infested one.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Oh shit.
Frozen geode. All this stuff gone to gun through yet? Yes. We're good on that. This can
But
go in
where has
there.
the way appeared then?
Alright, I gotta
Oh,
go find
now-
Elliot.
All the way on top. That's just
Yeah,
weird.
it does that.
Where is Elliot?
How I wouldn't be able. I wouldn't even be able to get up the normal stairs.
Which
with
state
this
is this
place.
now, Wyoming?
It's just forcing
I'm
me to
from
go
Florida.
down.
That's why I have like
I'm
a
probably the closest one to Wyoming.
southern accent, but not a super southern accent. Because people from north of me have more of a southern accent than I do. Which is crazy for me to think about. Hats up. Who was it that I gotta go spar to? It's Clint, right? Yes, Clint. Hi.
I don't want to set the world on.
Might be a good day. You might find some rare ores today.
Not rare butts, just rare ores.
Yes, rare ores. Maine, I think. Yes, remained. Yeah, that's our ongoing joke. Anybody asks
Oh,
for
I got
impoundments,
lost.
Maine.
Shit! I didn't want to do that.
As it was dirty?
But has Shy met Florida man? But has she met Florida man? Yeah, there's Florida man everywhere. Florida women everywhere. It's how we keep people away. It's our goal. Mono hires me to do things. I could hire you to do things. But not the things you'd want to do. Sebastian just
She
saw
just
me.
wants massages and
I need a foot massage. I don't
See?
know, you might be into that. You're not supposed to say that out loud. Probably not. Yeah, I fall for
It's
everything.
gonna attract all the creeps.
I know, right? I need a foot massage.
I remember one of my first streams or first stream weeks. It
Oh,
was
I was
like,
still on for Elliot.
can I see your feet? I'm like, well, you can go to Google.
Can't do that. Rain will fight me. She will fight you
Oh.
over massage touching my feet. Oh my god, this is the
Actually,
thing.
I really don't want to touch feet. Not my thing.
She says you're wrong, Turtle. She says she does not want to touch my feet.
Poor Mono, never getting that foot massage.
I know, right? Never.
Oh, you really can only do it once a day?
I have to go to. Oh crap! I'm forgetting. I gotta go find Elliot again. I hope he's still at the bar. Probably not.
What?
Elliot!
Once a day.
Everybody's going
What
home
can you
now.
only do once a day?
The grubs. It's not like they.
Oh,
they
he's already
both
left.
spawn.
No, I don't.
It's midnight.
Oh no, I really want to open those boxes there. Okay, well.
Elliot, come back. I have something to give you. I think he already went home. It's locked.
I'm
No,
coming.
he won't let me
Okay, we only have a few left anyway to get.
Okay.
The turtle, why will Rain fight you? Why will Rain fight you? Please do tell. I want to know more. I think I got that one, yeah. My trash panda duties are done.
Oh, I'm walking against a sign. That doesn't help.
It's 1 a.m., guys. 1 a.m.
Yeah, we were on our way,
We know.
but I ran into a stop
Listen.
sign.
Welcome, Lucid. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing today?
Hey,
What? Let's see. Okay, so what was next on my crafting? I don't need any more egg things. I
Wanna
need
sleep? Wanna sleep?
eggs. Oh crap! I forgot that
Sleep.
I just
Go.
told you guys it was
Ow.
like 1 o'clock. At least I made it in the house.
You good?
For me, it's 1 a.m. IRL. Oh dang! I just watched a bit of Bob Ross. Very calming. Oh,
Fighter or
nice.
scout?
I like Bob Ross. Hey, I paint. So yeah, you're new here. I paint on stream as well. And where's my art thingamajiggy? Aha, here it is. This is some of the stuff I've done. If you look up there in the corner, I often paint Pokemons or variations of Pokemons on stream. Here up a moment. I am on the East Coast. East Coast of the US. So my time zone is a lot. Drifloon Chief, yes. Drifloon is one of my favorites. So I had to paint them. And Skitty's my fave. And then the Mysterion is one we made up. It's a ghost evolution of Eevee. Yeah. Very important. It's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Hey.
It's also Pride Month.
And Pride
I
Month.
mean, those can coexist.
Yep, yep, yep. I hope you are doing well.
Men's mental health is definitely not what the cause is.
Let's see.
Complete breakfast or a salmon dinner? Alex strength training diet.
Drifblim is my favorite Pokemon. If I had to choose, really, Drifblim? I had no idea.
Wait, did you show your? Oh yeah, you did.
I did not know this.
I remember
I
telling
like-
you that idea with the Drifloom and the candle
The
one.
Whitlick.
The
Yeah,
Whitlick.
Yeah, Litwick. Yeah, he's holding Litwick.
Oh, look. Gopher? What? How do I do get that? How did that?
Oh, it's because I completed a thing for you. Since you hadn't quite completed all the quests yet. And I
Oh,
completed that quest.
Oh.
you like ghost types? Oh, then you're like, I'm gonna be doing a Gengar painting eventually. Ooh.
Ghost seeds. Ghost seeds are my favorite.
So why do we have no produce in the greenhouse?
Because
I
I'm
have
redoing
the
it.
ancient seed, so
You're redoing
I
it?
have
Okay.
2 ancient
Yeah.
seeds.
I'm redoing it.
Because nothing's
Where can I
growing.
put them?
Put them in a chest.
The corner?
for now.
Oh,
Oh, wrong.
just in a chest? Okay.
Yep. Promise there's a method to my madness.
Wait, one is an artifact. Oh, never mind.
I got
Yeah,
no
you can
favorite
sell the artifact
Pokemon.
one,
Couldn't
but
choose.
I
There
don't
are
use
so
that
many.
one to make anything.
It's really hard.
Okay, well, I'll just leave it in a chest too then.
My
Wait, there's a great
favorite
starter in the.
is Skitty,
Yeah,
them
I
outside
don't want
too.
to do anything in there yet.
and my favorite starter is between like Piplup and Mudkip. Those are like some of my favorite starters.
Because I was trying to help the grub thing.
Mm. I'll put the ancient seed thing in the seed
Okay.
maker. Oh, I can't. Never mind. It doesn't work.
Yep. I'm get all
Can I
these
sell them?
eggs.
The artifact one, yeah.
Okay.
There's eggs everywhere. So many eggs.
We don't need them to make them because I did get the recipe as well.
I don't know. I actually have
me
no
check.
idea.
Let me check the recipe then.
But I didn't see the recipe in there.
Yeah, we need one.
Oh,
Yeah, I can make. Oh my
Oh.
god, I'm glad I didn't sell them. I made the ancient
Yeah.
seeds.
Sweet.
There we go. And oh,
It's just weird. That's just an extra step.
make sure we don't need those for anything. Nope.
Alright, make sure you get your prize ticket from the bulletin.
Oh yeah.
Yay, tickets.
Yep.
Where do we leave the wool?
My fave starter is Totodile. Nice. I like Tedpig as a starter, and I will take no criticism. Tedpig is cute. You're allowed to like who you like. You're allowed.
I am a fire starter all the way. Like,
I mean, I
use fire starter.
I
I also am just a pyromaniac, so I just like fire.
do like Litten.
Mm-hmm.
Now the song is
That's
stuck
so
in my
bad.
head.
Okay, I like you, like you. Like. And like. I'm petting all the animals. And then I'm gonna come in here and grab things.
I should probably buy a lot more seeds because this is just a waste of space otherwise.
Oh, catch. Ball type doesn't exist. Uh-oh. Let's see.
Bork!
I don't have enough money.
What?
To buy 10 Pokeballs. I was trying to buy a lot of them.
Scrambled eggs.
Da-da-da.
It doesn't have milk, Mono. Stop squeezing it.
I was squeezing the dirt, apparently. I was trying to milk the dirt.
I just heard that.
Yeah, it lets you try to milk things that aren't even animals, and then it just doesn't tell you anything. It's just like nothing happens other than
Okay.
And you're like, well, okay then.
Well then. Okay, I'm not gonna say it. Never mind.
Momo being bad. Momo's being bad. Naughty Momo. Naughty Momo. See, I really don't know if cheese is worth it, because if you put iridium products in here, you still only get gold cheese, and I don't know if that's worth it. But that is what it is, though.
Just maybe don't do the iridium, just the gold.
Momo, favorite starter or starter type? What's your favorite starter or starter type, Momo?
I'm not into Pokemon.
I know, but out of the ones you know some of them.
Wobbuffet. No, I don't. What are starter ones?
Wobbuffet, I like that.
I like who he's like.
She like. Okay, she likes Wobbuffet. We got that much, which is great. Why translate the page when the command
Charizard
only
is
works
cute,
with
I
the
suppose.
English names? That's all I need. Wow, Buffett. Yes, that was perfect. Wow, Buffett. Translate the page? I don't know. What you mean? You like lick a tongue? Oh my god, you would. You would like lick a tongue.
Bad turtle.
Alright.
Lick your tongue.
Yep. Turtles being sus.
Turtles always sus.
Oh, that's a lot of gold.
Yeah, it is.
I bought seeds.
Nice.
Not Wobba Fett. Wobba Fett. The Pokemon community game page?
Not
Oh, I
you,
don't know.
Wobble. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you. I'm kidding.
No! Stay away from me. Stranger danger.
No. Where's Sebastian
there you go.
today?
I have no idea.
Hiding from you.
Oh, he's in his room. Damn you, Mono! Finally get a big boy. Oh, no, he's hiding from me.
Sounds about right.
Blue pinstripe double bed. Ooh.
I have one of those.
See if he's in his room.
Hi, Elliot. I have something special for you. Come back, come back. Come back. Oh, you're too close to Willy. I'm gonna accidentally hand it to Willy and be upset.
What was your favorite starter then, Reeve? I think I missed that.
Alright. Come on. You guys are just like in tow with each other today. I'll wait until you get in the bar and then we'll talk. Okay. Come in. Figure yourselves out.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going where?
So did I.
Yeah, that's the crocodile one, right?
I just want to go talk to Elliot. And give him a gift.
It's the water.
Oh, crap. How did I sit down?
Nobody saw Sebastian?
What a gift. The aroma alone is inspiring. Ooh.
Oh my. Mona's
Wish I
going
could
for
give you
Elliot.
another one.
Oh,
Marvelous.
Sebastian there, Mona?
He let me do another one. What?
I think he is.
He let me do 2 gifts in one day because it was the star drop thingamajig.
Star drop? What star drop?
She gave him the star drop
Totodile.
that she had gotten.
Oh, I still have that.
Yeah, you can do star drop tea and the other in the same day.
Oh.
You can do it in the same day. You can give it
I'll
to
have
him.
to do it next week because I already made
Alright,
it.
I'm gonna upset Michigan and come over here and talk to Emily and give her some cheese. Positive energy from this. Sorry, Michigan. Romance and Emily. There you go. Oh no. I'm bad about trash panning in front of people.
Oh, Mono.
We won't talk about it. As long as it's not Elliot, I'll be okay. Here, have some more cheese. Yeah. I am a
I forgot again.
farmer after all. I'm gonna get all the cheese.
I got the... I'm almost getting a love book. The next one I'm getting a love book.
A love book.
What would that do?
I don't know. I think it
I'm
helps
not
you with
familiar
the
with the love
relationship.
book.
We haven't gotten that far yet.
Well, if I get 30 gold, 30 copper ore, I can get it.
You have to
Then
tell
I
us
get a
what the
ticket
love book
again.
is.
Oh
I'm
no,
not
what
familiar.
happened to the... Oh. Who took
What?
the sprinklers out of the greenhouse?
Nope. But maybe they're in the other one now.
They should
they
still
are.
be in the
there's a lot
greenhouse
of
if you have
sprinklers in
them.
there.
Nope,
Yeah.
nobody took them down, so.
Monster Slayer Guild,
maybe I
see your
did.
reward?
That's what I was asking because the greenhouse was like completely empty when I went in there. I was like, what's going on?
How many days do I have for
I
this?
really want to craft
2.
kegs, but I need copper bars, iron bars, and wood. What am I missing? Is it the copper I'm missing? No, it's the iron bars still. Oh. And wood, probably.
Oh, this is not the level I want to be at.
No, we got some wood. It's just copper. I need to go mining for some copper.
I'm doing that right now.
Are you
Because I need
sweet?
30 for Clint to
Sweet.
get like the gold emblem thing.
Quests. There's only one piece of hardwood in here.
I think it was the one piece
I
of
only
hardwood I managed to
deposited.
get.
I haven't used any.
So we have to get more.
Apparently. I can leave the axe tomorrow, but I'm doing another quest myself right now.
No worries. See, alright, we're changing out this.
Just my luck. I get a monster level. I don't want this. Can I just go up and down again?
Fancy blue bed.
It's 12 anyway. Whee! Sweet
It's
Jesus.
late. It's
What?
late. It's late. It's late. It's
On my
late.
way.
I'm already home. I'm just in the greenhouse.
Just quickly plant some things while I'm here. Oh wait, but there's no fertilizer in it.
So I got the pink lemonade Kit Kats from Walmart, but I guess since they're made with white chocolate, they really just taste like strawberry milk. Really? So they're pink lemonade and they just taste like strawberry Kit Kats.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Oh shit. It's...
Yeah. So what do you?
I'm stuck. Coming.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Ah!
Waiting on these
Dark
monkeys.
here.
I just pet the orange cat because they're all three animals are in my house, and the orange cat.
You've never had white chocolate?
A what?
A carp.
Honestly,
Really?
I'm not a fan of white chocolate. I like milk chocolate and dark chocolate best. White chocolate is just so sweet because it's
dark chocolate.
kind of like not really even chocolate.
Spirits are displeased again. Hey, thanks, man.
Geode Crusher.
Nice.
Oh, cool. Then you don't have to pay him anymore.
Yeah.
Emily wants an apricot. Okay.
Yo. Do we have apricots?
I have a pomegranate sapling, but that's not gonna help much. I don't think.
No. We have 3 peach trees, which I'm gonna probably chop down one of them because I only want 2.
There's a small hint of lemon. It tastes like eating lemon cream cookies with strawberry milk. Okay, fave Pokemon out of original 152.
Put the pomegranate one right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna cheat and look.
That sucks. You can't even get the wood from it.
Okay,
I'm gonna cheat and look.
Oh, okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can I have it next to my house? No.
Because that's a hard one to choose. It really is.
Bring Emily apricot.
There's just so many good ones.
We have plums. We have peaches. Yeah, we have 1 apricot. So.
I mean, of course you got Charizard, which is like OP. And of course you got Pikachu. Oh my god, how can you not like Pikachu? And then Ninetales. I love Ninetales.
Can't do it right now.
I love it. Pikachu. I can't do it right now either. Ditto. Oh my god.
I do know who else I like.
Who else? Jigglypuff? Yes. That's so cute. I have that
Honestly,
emote.
I'm a Jigglypuff by heart, I think.
Jigglypuff is in the first gen as well, so that qualifies.
Ayy.
Yeah. And I like
I just love how
Butterfree,
upset
but
he gets when no one is paying attention to
I don't
his
know.
shenanigans. And his,
And Psyduck is so nice too. I love
I
Psyduck.
like Psyduck.
Ah, it's just too hard to choose.
Are
Yours
there any more
might be
sprinklers?
Jigglypuff. That's why I feel like it might be Jigglypuff, but I like Ninetales for sure.
Yeah.
Or did you use them all
And
now?
Pikachu. I mean, who doesn't love Pikachu? Pikachu!
And I want to go down here as well to put some here.
Do y'all need more sprinklers?
No.
I don't know how many there are, but Rain says no. Just fill the fields that I have like 60 more seeds.
Hmm.
That's it.
Okay. Thanks. I don't want to go that way. I want to go sideways. There we go.
I hear you barking, doggo. Momo also picked Jigglypuff, though. Kind of. Kindred spirit. Ah.
I mean, I love how sassy Jigglypuff is. Full sass.
Yo. There you go. Jigglypuff. Dog, why are you running into the fence like that? That's so weird.
That's the one.
Dog
is not the smartest dog. Dog is just
apparently not. Dog is not smart at all.
He gets like the zoomies and then
I'm concerned
he
for
goes
dog's
kaboom.
well-being. Iron. Okay, so need to make iron bars as well. And we have nothing to make iron bars with. No! So I'll keep making copper for now, but I need to make some iron ones too. Doggo. You concern me.
You do have the zoomies.
Kind of cute.
Yo. So for crafting things, I need the resin, copper. Trying to make a massive amount of kegs, but I don't have any iron, so I can't do that yet.
A moo. Oh, blackberry jam.
A wild hoot hoot.
What the fuck?
What did I miss now?
My brain is just doing things. I don't know. Don't mind me.
It already escaped. No.
Fuck, I forgot to put the seeds back. No, I was gonna get Bash in my tea. A love potion.
Anyway, alright. Time to go check on the chickens. And the rabbits. And the ducks. And the dinos.
Already escaped.
Hi, baby.
Anybody hiding in this corner? Anybody hiding over here? There's like a thingamajig right there. It needs to go.
Shit, I had to do mine stuff.
There.
Forgot.
Okay.
was I doing again? Copper. I can actually check the quarry as well if there's copper. Wait, what the fuck is that? There's a blue rock.
Get it?
Oh,
Iridium.
iridium.
Yeah.
Oh, yay!
That good?
We need those. Need lots of those for your sprinklers.
Ooh.
For your best sprinklers ever.
What level is good for copper? Like the first levels? I keep forgetting.
Yeah. Near the beginning.
Oh. Okay, cool. Thanks. What the fuck's that? Jade.
It's a mineral.
Get away, Diglett. Diglett is pestering me in the mine.
No apricots at all. I just harvested all the fruit out of the cave and there wasn't a single apricot. Go figure.
Pick up.
Oh dear.
Fucking bugs. Die. Die.
Bugs are bad.
I recently got one of those blue zappy things, electric light things.
Oh, for the bugs.
Yeah, because I still like the plants are still being infested by the gnats. So that's kind of annoying. Don't want them to die. Come on, give me some copper, man. Oh, wait, Momo, it doesn't help. You've already been here. I keep thinking that I'm gonna get a different mine if I go in and out. It doesn't work. I'll just go down here.
Okay, I stole some of the bean starters because I am putting them in the thing.
The thing?
The greenhouse. I started organizing the greenhouse.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, they reproduce, so
Yeah.
it's a good spot for them. They're just annoying because you can't get past them.
Yep, that's why I have them where I do.
That's why what?
I put them where I did. They're up at the top.
No crab. Bad crab.
Now there's like tons of periwinkle thingamajiggies when we don't need them.
Oh, I did it! I need to go to Clint.
But hey, at least we don't need bait anymore.
Shark bait.
Oh. So that thing just infinitely make bait over there?
Yes.
Cool.
You just have to grab it every day.
I keep grabbing it out and putting it in the chest where you want to see it.
Oh, thanks.
I was like, oh, bait. I'm gonna put it in the chest.
Momo didn't trash panda today.
Nope. I haven't been to the town today. I don't do it every day.
Yay! I did it, Clint. I got my prize ticket, so I got my love book. See what it does.
I wonder what my love
It's
was.
locked. No!
Oh yeah, it left at like what, 8 or 9?
10. Sadly. that's a thing for tomorrow.
And I didn't get to these guys today. Sad. I'm pretty sure they're asleep now.
What do we need
And
oak resin for again?
Pretty sure you can't milk them while they're asleep either. You can? I didn't know you could milk cows while they're asleep. You can't disturb chickens. But you sure can
usually
milk
you
the
couldn't milk
cows.
them. No.
You can totally milk them while they're
No,
asleep.
get out of there.
I did not know that. I've learned so much today. This game, I learn something new every day.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you couldn't before, so that must have changed.
Yeah, probably.
Alright.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Mona, where do you keep the wool?
The wool is in the barns. Both of them produce wool, and we put them on the looms to make cloth.
But where's the looms? In the barn?
Yeah, in both barns there's a loom.
Wait, we have 2 barns now?
Oh, we have a barn and a coop.
Oh, barn and a coop. The coop, the rabbit produces wool, so you have a loom in there for the rabbit.
Oh, it's nearly bedtime.
Oh no.
There we go.
So yeah, you can do it in either one. Fine, Mama, I'll let you shut the gate. I'm going into Rain's house. Oh my god, this house is a mess. Oh no, she cleaned it up.
Hello, let's all snuggle in one bed.
Yeah, is it the other house that has all the recyclables? The other safe?
No, it was this one.
Yeah, she cleaned up all of it. She had recycle everywhere. It was kind of crazy. It was kind of cool at the same time.
All the trash.
Ow.
So Rain, I'm keeping track of time for you. I think we'll do like one more day.
We have shot pizza.
Oh, crap.
Spirits are in good humor. We can do
Pizza.
the thing. So. I can.
Yay!
Isn't that your favorite? In
Watch
Stardew
and
Valley?
learn it. This way?
The pizza. Isn't that your favorite in Stardew?
A lot of times. I think one of them I put feet just for the heck of it to see what people would say. I know. We'll work on that. Let's see. Right!
Kroll
Oh my
28 love,
gosh!
Kroll 28 love, Kroll 28 love.
Thank you so much for the sub. Thank you for 26 months, Charlie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There we go. Hype in chat. I hope you were doing awesome and keeping well.
Sunfish. Demetrius wants 3 sunfish. It's your time to shine, Rain.
Hype. Thanks,
It's just 90
Michigan.
gold, though,
Thanks
so
for
it's not
adding
really
to the
worth
hype.
it. But you might be getting a ticket for it.
Oh no, another rabbit split.
Oh, maybe.
I just
Rain's
got my
not
ticket
getting this one.
today, so I won't get one. Jeez, why do these people sleep so late?
Gotta put one in here.
Says the one that only wakes up after noon.
Cheese.
Jesus. Sweet Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Grab that quest then.
Get my love book.
What are you doing?
Tick. Let's see what it. Friendship 101. See what it does. You become friends with people a little faster. Oh, so I can read it?
So I had one extra egg. That makes me think
You
good.
learned a new power.
Helpful.
I should
Where does it
do a
show,
thing.
though? It doesn't,
Oh,
does
well,
it?
that works. It's not what we need for food, so that's okay. Well, welcome. I hope you're doing awesome. Thank you so much for lurking, and thank you for hanging out. And
Oh, it's under
let's
special
put it to
items and
you.
powers, the purple star.
Ooh.
It's looking
Ah.
good. Do y'all need another seed maker, or is one enough?
I
I
won't
don't know.
get a prize picker from this either. Wait, what, Mono?
Oh, you didn't get one?
Do y'all need more than one seed maker, or is one enough?
I don't
One's
know.
fine.
Just checking. Come on,
Hello there.
I like you. Let me like you.
Oh yeah, we still need the purple shrooms, right?
I guess I did that. Okay.
Yeah. And we need a shit ton of them.
Oof, really?
I think so. Or was it just 5?
Oh, 5, just 5.
Was it the cave carrots that we needed 5 of, or was it the purple shroom?
Cave carrot is 5, and
And then
for
we
the
just need
purple we need 5 because with 5 you can make dried
we can
powder.
I just wasn't sure if we needed
the cheese maker.
1 dehydrated or what.
We need a dehydrator. Oh, we got a reward from the museum.
Okay,
Which is what
here first.
exactly?
Wait.
The little jar
There.
thing.
Oh, yep. The doorbell. That's what I call it. It's like a doorbell. Where's Sebastian on Sunday? Do you maybe know? I just
Not off the top of my head.
Okay, it's fine.
Ooh, another Pokemon, guys.
Pelptoad? That just sounds weird. I'm sorry.
He does look weird too.
Very weird water type.
It's a weird Pokemon.
Very weird.
I agree. Do I have it? Of course
It doesn't tell me.
It just doesn't
It
like.
won't say, Mono. It won't say.
It doesn't like Stream Deck, so I don't know why.
Yeah, my stream deck is giving me issues as well with your chat now at the moment. Like, none of the buttons worked for me earlier.
Oh no. I guess I could make.
I don't even have my stream deck hooked up right now.
I guess it gave you issues, right?
No.
Oh.
Never hooked up.
Oh, I forgot to make the wool. Goose.
Get away, bat. No, why are there so many bats? Bad people, bad people. Just want to find a ladder.
There we go.
Nope, he just gave me.
Oh, fuck it. Today's not a mine day. Leave mine.
Is it? Is it a bad day for mining?
I don't know. It's just not giving me the stairs, and I really want to talk to Sebastian. Just want to give him some tea. Meanwhile, I'll get some wood for you.
Yay.
It's 3 p.m. Isn't Sunday D&D day? Or was it on a Tuesday? There he is. Hey there. Lucky as fuck. Can I give you some tea? Best friends! No, I'm a boyfriend. Oh, I'm full-hearted now. Next rainy day, you're mine.
With the rain tomorrow.
Really? Damn it, but this was the last date. Fuck.
I mean, maybe it doesn't have to be. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought Rain had to go.
Well, she said hard 8:30, so that's what I was shooting for 8 because I know how we are.
Alright, then. Well, now I can go back into mine. That tea really helped. With it just upped me 2 hearts in one go. So I would recommend keeping the tea for the last part.
Too late. I already did it. I wonder how many hearts I have with him now. I only have 2 hearts with him. I'm terribly slow at this. I have 2 hearts with everybody, so...
Yeah, probably because you don't talk to him every day then?
Yeah, I don't. Well, you can't give him stuff every day, can you?
No, twice a week, but you can talk to him every day, which is good for
Does
the
that help?
level.
Does it? I didn't think it.
Yeah,
know
of
that.
course. Talking, socializing, Mono.
I
Socializing.
didn't think
with
talking did squat. I thought you had to give
if
him
you
stuff.
don't talk to them, you decay.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. I'm terrible at this romance stuff, apparently.
Oh, fuck these skulls. Don't make me die. Phew, barely made that. Let me just eat some cheese. I hope you're gonna give me an exit if I kill you.
I hope your new farming life is panning out as you'd hoped. And we'll find out. We'll find out. Somebody's already been a trash panda.
Might have been me, not sure. I don't remember which days I do it on, so I kind of forget.
That's okay. It all blends together.
What the fuck is that little gumball? It spits fire?
Oh, that's a squid kid.
Squid kid?
Yeah, I don't know why they're
No.
called that. They're called squid
Don't
kids.
eat it.
They're fucking
Wanna get it.
awful.
They're easy to
There you
kill
go.
though, it's just one swing with the sword.
Just making my way through the farm, handing out random cheese to people. Random gifts of cheeseness.
What do I throw away? Mixed seeds.
And this
find
one over here should be
mushrooms.
ready too.
But I need a shroom.
Because I never come check this one. I need stuff to make iron bars. I need all the iron and copper bars.
Thank you.
20? No. 30? No. 40. Yes.
No shrooms. Why not? Shroom.
Weird little
Shroom.
fluffy things. Die. Ooh, geodes. ×2. Frozen geodes.
It's a good day today to open them. Oh,
Oh.
it's too late.
More frozen geodes.
I don't know what to throw away. Oh, slimes. There you go. No, I don't want the coal. Give me the other thing. That one. Damn it. Fire quartz.
I don't.
Fire quartz. Anchovy
Frozen
frenzy.
tears. Little fluff balls. Mystery box.
Damn it. Secret
Oh.
note. I borrowed a necklace from Mom.
There's a special
She lost it from near the
slime.
bathhouse. I
I didn't
remember
drop
finding that
anything.
last playthrough, but I never found the necklace. I dug
And
around the
drop
whole
But
sword.
you don't dig.
bathhouse. Oh.
You have to fish it out of the little tiny pond that's right there.
There's a
Frozen
tiny
tears.
pond.
I'm getting everything but
It's right in front of it. That little. like,
Really?
getting
spot.
some pretty cool stuff.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've actually accidentally found it before the notes existed.
Nice.
Not all.
You want some
Giant
pickles?
fire.
What did you do?
Hmm?
Why did you gasp?
I didn't gasp. I yelled at him to stop.
Oh.
He keeps getting it bad stuff. Driving things. I don't like the sound of it. Because he's really good at causing trouble.
On the double?
But he loves you.
See, that's the only things I know around Team Rocket stuff. Because I like James.
Trouble in the
It's like I
double.
watched for James. That's it. If I watched it. Was
Did you?
Yes.
I did not.
He's crying.
I don't know. I
You're
found
so
him hilarious.
mean.
Well, maybe if you behaved, I wouldn't hold you against your will.
Let's see. Bust up.
It's time to go to bed.
Mm-hmm.
I really should put that place for the dog somewhere else because it's really annoying.
Keep running into it.
Yep. It's kind of weird that you can't walk over it. It's just a
all
pile
that
of
work
hay.
and only one iron bar.
Don't forget, it's nearly sleepy time.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Yes. Fun fact, the voice
Yeah, he
actor
was
for
the same.
Jane
I
is
heard that.
same for Brock. Also, Jesse was Misty. Nice.
I somehow have a knack of recognizing the voices.
Yeah.
As well as an anime, like when I listen to a new or watching a new anime, I was like, "Hey, this is the same voice as this and this one," and then I look it up and I'm like, "I'm right."
Mama.
Hmm? Sebastian. Oh, I got a letter.
Raining.
I'm going to give you this advice because I like you and I want you to stay in Pelican Town. If there's comes a day that you want to ask someone's hand in marriage, you'll need to give them a mermaid.
I need
pin.
that.
Don't worry. Everyone in Pelican Town understands the significance of the amulet. It's an ancient tradition in this region. Good luck, Lewis. I'm Carol Lewis. Oh, I didn't look up if it was a good luck day or not, but let me go check.
It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't matter for that. It just matters for the rest that I want to do today.
Fair.
Fortune teller. Good humor. Anybody want some geodes done?
There you go. I'll drop all mine in there. And one mystery box.
Mystery box.
Mhm.
Boom boom. Yeah, papa. To the beach, each. Let's go to the beach. Wait, I should go here. Get on the floor.
Let's see. Like that.
Do you want to see it rain, or were you just giving me directions last time?
I was just giving you directions.
Okay.
Nice. Still not enough. That. I'll set those.
Kind of weird how this guy's every like here. Every
Only
time
when it rains.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's a spirit.
I can see that sparkle in your eyes, miss. You must be head over heels in love. But I'm afraid a bigger house is essential for a happy marriage. Fuck you! Okay.
Priceless.
I can't get a bigger house, can I?
We have enough
Yeah.
money.
I'm sure we do.
I'm currently deforesting, so hopefully soon.
What?
I'm deforesting, so I'm
Oh yeah.
getting some woods and stuff. I don't remember what kind of wood you need though.
Oh, Evelyn wants either a dozen leeks for George, or we need ectoplasm for. What does it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Leeks it is. We get 21
That'll,
days.
yeah, that's 3 weeks.
See.
It's a lot harder to get the ectoplasm. It's a very small spawn rate.
It's a small drop. Okay.
We now have a geo crusher, but I don't know how long it takes
okay.
to crush.
I'll come back because I was just doing the geodes.
Well, they take a while. You have to like put one in and wait. So.
And I'll just do it.
It seems they're not as fast as I thought, but we can make more eventually. They just take diamonds, so, and gold bars. But I guess we were out of diamonds, maybe? No, we have diamonds.
What I got?
What are we out
Catered
of?
white orbs from a tight cluster?
We're out of stone. Really?
Wow. We're out of stone? I just got like a shitload.
What? No. Stone, diamonds, and what to make the geo crushers now? Hold on. Stone, diamonds, and gold bars. I have all those things. I don't know. Hold on. You have to put it in the thing.
Let me just check what the...
Okay. 2. I'm making them. I'm making them!
Bigger house.
Alright, I made like, we have like 4 of them.
So it just wants you to have the bedroom, I think.
The 1-bedroom one?
And them all.
Like the one Mono has right now?
Yeah.
That's the second one? So it's 65,100 hardwood?
No.
Maybe? Oh.
No, it's the first upgrade.
Oh, 10,450 then. Wood.
Wood. Okay. I have 160.
I dropped everything I had in the chest. I didn't want to go here. One of those frozen geodes gave 20 iron.
Wow.
Oh, train!
Twain! The Tutu Twain! See you over there, Mono, moving chests around.
Yeah, trying to take it down here to the geo crusher. So we have one near the geo crusher. Rigged.
Oh shit. Do you want to keep the gold oyster or should I sell it?
You can sell it.
Okay.
Hey, the train's dropping wood.
Would you dare? Wait, didn't you say there was a hardwood tree as well somewhere in the farm? I forgot where.
Behind behind the barn, the cow barn. It's hidden.
Ah, okay. I get 21 wood from one tree.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it's probably because of my
Okay.
advanced.
These are pretty
Are
cool.
we killing trees on the farm or not?
Yeah,
right.
I found a leprechaun shoe.
A leprechaun suit?
Shoes.
Shoes? What?
Yep, leprechaun shoes.
Cute.
Came off the tree.
Mona, which one is the maple oak tree? It's not this one, right? It's the one that already had the tappers, right?
The tappers are the ones we're keeping, but we wanted to plant 2 more, like,
But this
spaced
one I can
just like
chop?
these. Yeah, that's actually the third kind of tree that we need, but you
Okay,
can
no, leave it. Fine.
replant them and space them perfectly just like these two is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So
There's trees up here
yeah,
as well if you want to
I was
put
gonna say
tappers there.
still his seed
Oh, okay.
and then plant him like, you know, like the same pattern these two guys are. Yeah. Replant him the same pattern
Which is
as these
where?
guys. I don't know how many spaces you'll have to look. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces or something like that. Yeah, that's too far. Yeah,
Here.
it might be easier to do the front row one first.
Why do you want 7?
I don't the matching. Do you see the pattern?
Sure, yeah.
It's not 7, but it's like whatever the pattern is.
Oh, I did 7 now. On the 7th, I put it down.
That's alright.
It's not wrong. Oh, I thought that's what you meant. You
I just
hack
meant
them
follow
out
the pattern.
still. They're just seeds, so you could hack them out,
Let's
and they
see.
do. I think. Not sure.
I'm not sure either. I think he kills them.
I'm putting the wood in your chest, Momo. There's 226, so about half of what you need.
Yay.
That's all I was able to get.
There's only baby trees in the forest.
I know, I chopped all the adult ones.
Ah, okay.
Yep.
We cannot plant leeks, can we? We have to find them in the forest.
Yeah, we can. But
Oh,
you can plant mixed seeds.
oh, then we have to do that because.
Aw, this is so stupid. We can't put the mystery boxes in the geode crushers.
Oh, that sucks.
I found a single leek. I'm putting it in this chest since it has to go to what's her face.
It's the granny.
Yeah, we need a total of 12. I only found 1 while I was foraging. But I know I have some mixed seeds in the.
I have yeah, I have them too.
Nope.
I still only have 1 cave carrot for them. We can put them in the blue box again. The stuff for the raccoon.
Yeah.
The one from the beehive. The beehive.
Now that I did that, I want to do. I'm just like.
Hi.
I want to move them.
Oh, bye.
I think you picked it up. I think you picked up one of these things.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's alright.
I'll give it back, don't worry.
Well, I'll do this.
Here?
Nah.
No?
Oh no, there's the tree in the way.
Yep. What if I stand here? Would it go?
There you go. Perfect.
That's
now I just gotta make a few more of them so it's all even.
I mean, we
I can't do it even anyway. Yeah, I
can't
do
do
it
we
even.
have some more wood?
I can't do it even anyway because of the thing. Yeah, I have wood. There.
Alright. Thank you.
I planted some mixed seeds.
I need
out
20 more
on the farm.
I got the workbench.
And then
Quit stealing my
plant
stuff!
some mixed seeds in the green.
Momo!
Because I got the magnet ring. I have the magnet ring on, so I think it goes automatically. What did
You
say,
gotta
Renee?
go put the workbench over here.
I put it in
I
the chest.
planted
Oh, did you?
the
Okay.
mixed seeds. I planted
seeds?
some in the greenhouse, and then some also in the regular like little farm area.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go ahead and hop off.
Okay.
I
Sweet
could go to the
dreams.
bathroom and do all the things for work.
All right, you have to go.
Okie
Good
dokie.
luck.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Was fun.
See ya.
Okay, so next time I should have enough wood.
Mm-hmm. Lick. Mm.
I now have enough 444. That's a nice amount to stop with. No, I need 450. Fuck. Wait, I should go to bed first. I can.
Oh no.
Yeah, we have
It's
to go to
late.
bed. Mm-hmm. Want to snuggle up in my bed?
I just grabbed
Going
the
in a
first
different
house.
bed.
I just grabbed the first house.
I'll sleep alone. It's fine. It's like every night.
Lady Rain is taking a break from poke catches. Enjoy lurking. I did not know this bot did all these other things that it keeps saying. Oh.
It's just. Wait.
Alright, Mama, we done or are we doing one more day?
I mean, we could. If you like. I could ask her to build the house, then that is done, and I
Okay.
don't forget it.
Okay, go for it.
If you're good with that. I just need
Mhm.
one tree to cut. Just give me one game, just one. A meow. Oh, there's one. Yay. Wait, isn't she open? Isn't she closed on a Tuesday? Robin.
Yes.
Then this doesn't matter. If well, then we need at least 2 days if we're gonna do that. And I don't know if you want to do that.
Well, we can at least get through one more, I guess.
Okay.
You know?
You're not in a stopping mood either, are you?
No, because I just did a couple things and I don't want to forget what I did. You know?
We need like a Stardew notebook, like.
Yeah. I do have one, but... Oh, damn.
Do. Damn, we really went through all the berries and stuff in the winter. Making the preserves.
Yeah, I was putting it on,
You wanna put coffee in there or make juice?
No, you can make juice or coffee, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Depends on how much I'll use coffee to actually get around fast or not.
But yeah. Oh, Mono, I don't know if you got that. We're putting the cave carrots and stuff for the raccoon in the blue chest above the bees.
Okay. Leaks.
Greenhouse looks okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she made little signs. That's cute.
Alright, it's
Made
kind of
little signs
organized,
what
but...
kind of produce there is.
Did she? That's
Yeah.
cool.
I didn't know you could do that. Should we put all the fruit in the green chest as well to make stuff with?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Okie dokie.
Alright, I'm just getting rid of these guys, because too much. Oh, cool.
Were you trying it with Emily or with a guy? Oh no, you were trying it
Elliot.
with Elliot, right? Okay. Because I do have one apricot, but then I'll just give it to her. Rid of the quest. A woof. Do we need a pomegranate for something? Not sure.
So eventually I need to reconnect that bot, not as my name, but as KimonoBot.
Oh.
I wonder if Elliot likes coffee.
Maybe. Do you have a watering can? Because I have no clue where mine is, and these seeds don't have any water. Where did they go?
I don't know. I feel like they got thrown away or something.
That's not good.
Nope. Because they're all missing unless they're hiding in somebody's chest in somebody's house, and we don't know it. Oh, Elliot, let me inside. Let him come in. I get to go in Elliot's house.
Oh my.
Welcome to my humble shack. This is my writing desk. It's where I spend most of my time.
Wait, wasn't it a range chest? And is that not where I put it? Nope. Let me go check the... They're all in the greenhouse. Where we don't need them anymore.
Oh, all the things are in the greenhouse?
Yeah, I'll put them back where they belong, outside.
I don't even know where they belong. I guess next to the garden.
I mean, the greenhouse is fully stocked on
Sprinklers.
Yeah, so we'll need them for the odd spaces outside more. Hello, Piggy is oinking. There's some truffles.
He wants me to look at his rose plant. It's not doing well.
Don't do that.
I have 3 hearts. Actually, I think that counted as a scene.
Harp frenzy. A quack.
Oh, what do things have to be? Yeah, I gotta make the sound effects as I'm picking up stuff.
I just walked by the drum thing.
Oh, my arm's falling
Yeah, I put
asleep.
it as a doorbell so then we know when someone's on the farm.
I think I'm the only one that my hands fall asleep when I play this game.
Keep your wrist elevated?
I think this one I was smashing my leaning on my elbow too hard. This time.
Oh, yeah,
Usually it's this hand falling asleep, but today it's this one. It's like my whole arm.
Okay, time for you to stretch. Come on, do the things.
Yeah. I was leaning on my elbows too much. Instead of sitting up straight. Feet on the floor. Posture check.
Oh, he wants to... What? Squid Kits slain for 700 gold. Damn. What was I doing again? Emily. Who's the Emily again? The little kid? No.
Blue hair. Blue
That's
hair
Abigail.
lady.
I always
She always works at the bar behind the
the
counter.
red dress. The red dress.
Yeah. Yeah, blue hair, red dress, bar behind the counter.
There you go. All right, we still need to find leaks for George.
I still need hardwood. 5 of them.
Oh, I can go get it.
Yeah, leeks will be, what is it? No, that's spring onions I'm thinking of.
Leeks are in the forest too, aren't they?
I think aren't they in fall?
No, I don't think so, because we just got the quest.
Oh.
That would be awful for the game to give us a community quest.
Right?
That's impossible.
Yo.
Drink water, posture check.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, dear.
Posture check. Stretch. Drink water.
Hello, my boyfriend.
Means I've been streaming for too long. Let's see. Uptime. 3 hours. Yep, it's past the 3-hour mark.
Alright, I should get that too.
All the cows are going to sleep on me.
What? It's not even 7.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, now it is. Yay, I found the necklace.
Yay!
Thanks, Ryan, for the teal. Hello, Wormsies. I'm a chuck yet. 3 carrots.
Hi, Jay. How are you doing? It's not past the 23-hour mark, though. Oh my god, you're definitely not. Drink water, thank you. I hope you're keeping well, Jay. I'll grab Rain's bait and put it in the bait thingamajiggy.
The bait thingamajig.
I neglected the poor chickens today.
Oh no. I'm gonna get some sad eggs.
New baby lizard hatched.
What, a lizard?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, name him Pascal.
Pascal.
I know it's
Okay.
chameleon, but...
How did I spell it?
Pascal.
Pascal. Pascal.
Right, let me check it if you...
It's gonna be spelled wrong. Doing good. How are you, hon? I'm doing
You can
good.
always fix it. I'm not sure if that's how you write it in Rapunzel, but...
It's good. We'll just leave it.
I just love little chameleon. Karma chameleon. What do they do?
The lizards, they just walk around and lay eggs. They're the baby dinos. Yeah. We have several of them already.
I haven't checked in there for ages.
Oh, see, you can switch to animal duty for a while. I don't mind. I've been like doing animals for days. Let's see.
I got your wood. 17 hot wood. Malay.
See. Thank you.
Oh, that's why I wasn't wearing the glow ring. I was like, why is it so dark suddenly?
Then
Walking into everything.
There we go. Oh, geez, I left some stuff that I should have took care of the cow barn and I forgot.
Oh no.
Karma chameleon.
Chameleon. You come and go.
Wine. I stole the wine.
Oh.
It's late already.
Michigan is being a licky tongue.
You
No.
said you had hardwood?
Yeah, I got some hot wood for you, my lady.
Where'd you put it?
Huh?
Oh no.
Did you say where did you find it?
Where'd you put it?
It's still on me.
Oh, okay.
I'm coming. I'm coming to the farm.
Okay.
I'm gonna shut up now.
Yeah. Things have been said.
I'll put it in the wood chest.
Okay.
Where's the hardwood? There. There.
Hardwood, what in the world are you doing? Yeah, you have to talk to Momo.
I got some hot wood for ya. I might
You
have
have
been
to
listening
talk
to
to Momo.
some what is it a audiobook where they're doing like these accents from like the bayou.
Ah. Okay, it's time to go to bed. I have no time to dilly dally.
Come join me, lady. Come join me.
Yeah.
My
Woo,
lady,
that was close.
my lady.
That was close.
That's what she said.
Ah.
One more day. I need to go build my house.
Okay.
Do it for my stupid husband.
So you don't forget.
Yeah.
Lick.
Yeah.
Now Kylie's licking.
Oh my. It was a success. After Splash Jake
Hello.
he was getting too happy with that.
Jay's getting out of hand.
Queen of Sauce, rerun. Oh, spirits do not like he.
My bad. No, you're fine.
No, don't mind. I'm just being weird. Oh, we got a salad from Emily. And 500 from Mr. Lewis.
You're good. We're just being silly.
Yeah, very silly. Do not heed what I say. Do not heed my words.
I can't believe you found all the watering cans after this time. We could never find them. We never knew where they were.
I'll go get some love to your animals.
I'm like tempted to put a watering can in my pocket just so they don't disappear again. Where have you been all my life?
Okay, the animals in the barn are petted.
Yay!
You just need to milky them.
Well, the chest is right there with the thingy in it.
Oh. Okay,
if you want.
I can do it.
You don't have to.
Shouldn't forget to go to Robin, the thing I actually need
Oh,
to do.
yeah, the thing you're supposed to do at 9 o'clock.
She opens it.
Sidetracked? Yeah.
Okay. We still got some time.
9
Okay,
o'clock.
milk it
Pause,
time.
reject. Okay. Oh,
Billy
stretch.
has no milk.
There. Ugh.
Beef has no milk. Oh, beef has milk.
Aye. There, that felt good. When I put both my hands on my chair and used all my body weight, it like popped my spine. And it feels so good.
I know bacon doesn't produce wool, but the sheep does, so why can't I do it? There we go.
You gotta use the scissors, yeah.
I know. They're just overlapping each other, which is kind of annoying. Filet mignon has no milk. Oh, I got some new ideas to slip on.
Dang.
think I got them all. Yeah, that's Gilligan. Billy!
Yeah.
You still put in all the milk?
Yeah, you can put it all in the things.
All in the thing.
Let's see. I'm refilling all the preserved thingies.
What's the catheter looking thing?
The fat feeder looking thing. There's the loom and the oil maker.
Oh, oil. Oil. That's the one.
Oil maker.
What is that? Oh, that's my ring. Okay, I'm coming to do the house.
You're
Gotta build my
fine.
house. I see the little dino. He's so cute. Oh, that's adorable.
Let's see. Oh,
I'm off to see the wizard.
kitty.
That's called Robin.
Nice.
I'm gonna steal your kid, Robin. You're gonna live with me now. Upgrade calendar. Yes. Thank you. Oh, 3 days. Oh, all the patience needed.
So that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2.
Sebastian, your mom is gonna build her house.
There. Now
I don't know where I'd be without you. Probably in a ditch somewhere. I'm having the greatest fun with this.
Ah!
Oh shit, I forgot to put back the shares and the milky thing. I'm sorry.
No, you can put it back when you remake it that way.
I wonder if I can get into her room yet. I
There we
cannot.
go.
Maru doesn't like me yet.
A wild. Oh, Corvus Squire. Ooh. Need that.
Just copy
Need it.
Mono because I never know what to use.
It just depends on whether you have it or not, but yeah. But yeah, it's kind of hard to lately because of the way this thing's doing.
I forgot who the necklace was for that I found. Was that a secret note thing?
The mermaid necklace?
No, I can't get that yet. I got a note that said my mom. Oh, I borrowed a necklace from mom near the back. Oh, it's a secret note, but I don't know. It's probably like a Haley or something, or like a kid that is a female. Oh, it was Caroline. Okay.
Mm.
I just talked to her and it fixed itself, I suppose. Mr. Solved. Oh, we got him, Mono.
Corvus Squire! Yay!
Can you move? I want to see the calendar.
Copper, iron, and oak. And I'm guessing it's the same thing that we don't have iron bars. Yes, always the iron bars. But I can make them now.
Ooh.
That and I should go see Elliot real quick.
Materials in the spool. What should I put in this bowl? I want it coffee. No, not 3 coffee, just 1. You'll make ? Yeah, that sounds about right.
You know what?
I have a pour over shirt. Is there something in everyone's room, or is it just sometimes? Like a special item?
No, but it's usually like a rite of passage to go talk to them in their room. Like Emily, you can use her sewing machine.
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
I just did. I made it with a cup of coffee. You just get a pour over shit. It's weird. What else did we need to do? Yeah, just the leaks.
We still need to get an apricot, actually. Nope, there's a thing.
Not sure if we had the apricot tree yet.
We don't, I don't think. I have to buy it. Unless Rain already bought it. I don't know.
Sure. Oh. Got some spring onions. That's not a leek, though. Shit. How are you gonna get that?
I don't know. Because leeks are, I'm pretty sure, not this time of year, because we saw them just like last season.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know exactly when they are. Where's Ellie?
Do you still need more hardwood?
Not right now.
Okay.
But I mean, if you get it, I'll gladly collect it for making things. Because I think I need it for the oil makers, so yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm close enough, so.
Oil makers take hardwood. Where the heck is Elliot? He's not at the bar, so he must be locked away in his house. It's late. I didn't make it to see him in time. Wait, does the map tell you where that? No, it only tells you where your friends are at.
Sad, huh?
Yeah.
I wish it worked like that, but you that's the mod, I think.
Yeah, it is.
It is the mod!
In the mod. It's so nice having all those sprinklers, right? It looks like you need one more sprinkler to even it out.
I mean, I could use a couple more. We have a lot more seeds. I kind of wanted to make like a second row of the beans, but it's not really necessary. But I do have a lot more cauliflower, but as soon as they're harvested, we can plant some more, I suppose. Oh yeah, I see the part you meant. Oh fuck. I should still water it though.
We have no wood. We need wood.
I have wood. I have some wood. It's because I did the house update.
Oh. It's like, I want to.
I just picked up the watering can. Where the fuck is it now? Still there. Why? Oh, damn it, it's time again.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Hello, kittens. Oh, what the fuck? No, no, I didn't want to use it. Oh, now I'm at the beach. Well, fucked.
What'd you do?
I accidentally used the beach totem. I was putting back the milk pails and the things, and then I did a swoosh.
Well, then.
That's kind of
Driftwood.
wasted.
How the heck did I just get driftwood walking through my house? Oh, somebody else must have thrown it on the ground. Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
It's so weird.
Okay, I'll probably make it to the farm, but not further.
Yeah, well, at least if you make it to the farm, you won't lose your
I
stuff.
might make it into
usually.
your house.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah,
It's fine.
there we go.
It's better than being outside.
Yeah. Probably drifted there.
Probably drifted there.
Oh.
Chappy would say that.
I'm a level 9 hoe now, too. Kidding. Farming. Level 9.
Level 9 hoe.
I can make iridium ones.
Nice. Nice
Are
job,
you already
nice
able
job.
to make that?
Okay, I'll be here for about 15 minutes, then I need to leave to my girlfriend for dinner. We're about to end stream and join Discord if you want to talk for 15 minutes in Discord.
Hey, Mono.
So, huh?
Were you already able to make the iridium ones?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
We just don't have iridium.
Farming. Damn.
Because it's crafting, I think.
The cat
Am I-
dropped a snail? What the fuck?
I don't know. Maybe it was because of crafting, not sprinkling so much. I don't know.
Because of the farm one.
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't mind farming. Let me look. Curious now. What is my levels? Farming. Oh yeah, I'm level 8 farmer. I don't know how.
Oh, I'm level 9. I only got it at level 9. That's weird.
I don't know. Maybe it was a combination of farming and
What do you get if you're fully proficient?
crafting. I don't know. Hi, buddies.
I forgot
You
to put
handing
the
me?
wood in before. Well, I was late.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're gonna end
It doesn't
anyway.
really. Like, if I do it now, it doesn't matter because it's gonna be in my inventory again.
It's
Oh.
okay.
Wait, why is she not working on my house?
Usually it's the next day, and sometimes I don't think you can see her do it on yours. I don't think it's visible.
Oh, was that it?
I don't think you see her working outside.
Okay, well. That's it then.
Yep.
Yeesh.
That's it. I do? Okay. But yeah. Alright. Let's see. Let's end stream here, guys. Thank you all for lurking and listening. Hope you enjoyed the stream tonight. I will be in Discord hanging out and chilling for a little while and saying hi if you guys want to hang out a short bit. So here's the link. Jump in, say hi. But yeah, stay awesome, and I will see you guys. If not sooner, I'll see you guys Friday for sure. So take care. I'll be working on my new schedule and getting out soon. Crowley is licking me.
I shipped with myself. I mean,
But
I mean, we
yes.
both licked you. I licked you before Crawley did.
Oh, I guess I just need to go take another shower or something. I must be dirty because you guys keep licking me.
Or you just smell so good. We gotta lick
Maybe. Good night, all. Good night, Sheen and Jay and Callie and everybody. But yeah, I'll be in Discord. So say good night, Momo.
Good night, Momo. No. Good night,
Good
Mono.
night, love. All right. Good
Good night,
night.
everyone. Bye.
All right. I will catch you guys next time.